Chapter 610. It's almost the end of the month. Those with monthly tickets push up. Bang! The Sky Demon did not expect such an unforeseen event. He directly crashed into the crystal light in the sky. Suddenly, as if he had hit the hardest steel, a violent sound erupted. At the same time, the 9 demonic dragons pulling the abyss chariot exploded on the spot, turning into countless pieces of flesh and blood that instantly scattered. They were thrown into the sky. A terrifying rain of blood fell from the sky. The powerful abyss chariot was instantly shattered into thousands of pieces and shot out in all directions. The abyss chariot was a demonic treasure comparable to an acquired spiritual treasure. Every war chariot could summon massive demons to follow beside it. They could traverse the void and turn the void into an abyss that could devour infinite yuan qi. All this time, only the fiend celestials who had reached the Skyfiend realm could possess such a mount. Such a mount naturally represented the majesty of the heavenly demon. There was no need to doubt its strength. However, such an abyss chariot actually collapsed on the spot, turning into countless pieces. It was simply unimaginable. Even the Sky Demon was not spared. The demon god's body, which was thousands of feet tall, collapsed on the spot, crushed into a strange mass of flesh and blood that splashed out in all directions. However, the flesh and blood, as if it had a life of its own, kept converging toward the center. It gathered together and quickly wriggled, constantly condensing into a shape. It actually wanted to use the power of the immortal body to reform a demon body. How is this possible? The Sky Demon of the 8-armed demon god clan was actually so fragile that his physical body was shattered. Even the abyss chariot collapsed, and the 9 demonic dragons were completely annihilated. So terrifying, such a terrifying aura. What is this? What is that thing? I can feel that there is an extremely terrifying thing in the crystal light that can easily crush us and kill us. This aura made my heart tremble. What kind of terrifying existence is it? It's him again, that Sky Demon again. What is he? Why does he have so many tricks up his sleeve? In the God's Fall Abyss, he took out an ancient bridge and was able to block the experts of the various heavens. Now, anything that touches him will change. It can't be that ancient bridge again, right? No, the aura of the ancient bridge is not like this. Change, there really is a change. The demon clan is truly a group of unbelievable fellows. It's the demonic beast emperor. Haha, I knew it. How could the demonic beast emperor fall so easily? To be able to kill even the Sky Demon, he must be under the protection of the ancestors of the demon clan. He must be an emperor who has descended to our demon clan. He must be an emperor who can lead our demon clan to rise again. The sudden change caused an uproar in the world. Looking at the crystal light in the sky, everyone could clearly feel the terrifying pressure coming from the air. Even those that hadn't entered the demon realm could feel this pressure. It was so terrifying that they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. It's His Majesty, His Majesty's Demon City. Could it be that the construction of the Demon City had already been completed? In the ancient city above the 9 heavens. Haha, this is the time when our myriad demon city's name shakes the heavens and earth and suppresses the myriad world. With the unparalleled might of the myriad demon city, even a mere demon god would be suppressed to death. The 4 divine beasts formed by the battle formation roared excitedly at the sky. Their roars were filled with excitement. When they thought of the ancient city that had been built for hundreds of years in the Linglong Treasure Pagoda, they were completely excited. Their confidence in the demon city had been deeply engraved in their hearts since the first day of its construction. Chen Shi sat on the throne and looked at the crystal light in the sky. His eyes revealed a look of joy and he murmured, "Is the demon city finally completed? It seems that the year that Shi Tian was suppressed under the demon mountain was not in vain. He has been doing his best to build this ancient city. We finally have a foundation. We have a home, in the Demon Valley, in the hearts of the group of demons that came out of the southern wilderness, almost all of them had the same thought. Their originally empty hearts suddenly had a sustenance. That was a kind of sustenance of a home. Their whole bodies were suddenly filled with strength. This was the difference between having a root and having no root. It was an invisible reversal. "Sheer, what is that?" Gord Lucy arrived beside Chen Shi in a flash before asking her a question in a deep voice. However, he didn't even blink as he stared intently at that strange location. He had seen the scene just now with his own eyes. His impression of Di Shurtian had changed completely, and the scene in front of him was obviously related to him. The one who was most familiar with Di Shurtian was undoubtedly Chen Shi, who was known as the Demon Empress. That is, the Demon City. Chen Shi's face bloomed with a smile for the first time in a long time. This smile seemed to completely release all of his worries, and even the color of the whole world seemed to become brighter in an instant. A smile could move the world. Demon City? Huluzi's eyes showed a look of surprise. Rumble? At this time, there was another change in the void. The thousands of crystal lights suddenly retracted to the center, and the moment they retracted, the world collapsed. A colossal figure suddenly appeared in the void. In the void, countless auspicious clouds appeared out of nowhere. The snow-white auspicious clouds were like a tide, and in the blink of an eye, they spread out in all directions and covered the endless void. It stretched for millions of feet. Amidst the clouds, a huge ancient city stood above the clouds. The ancient city was made of perfect crystals, but it did not emit any light. Instead, it gave off an ancient and vast aura. It was like an ancient city that had returned from ancient times. There were no walls, but the 4 heavenly gates were faintly visible in the clouds, and they gave off a mysterious aura. Looking at the heavenly gates, one would feel that as long as one entered, they would be able to surpass the heavens. When the ancient city appears, there will be a blood rain as a sacrifice. The demon god here is the sacrifice. Di Shurtian stood in the middle of the ancient city. His body was huge, and he still looked like a giant, standing in the middle of the city and controlling it. He was like a supreme emperor who ruled over the heavens. Boom! The Thousand Fiend City was an ancient divine city that stood above the heavens. All the materials were not of the 5 elements. The divine crystals were extremely tough, and they were fused with their natural enemy, the embryonic membrane. They were protected by the supreme divine restriction, and the 4 heavenly gates guarded it. The vast divine might poured down, and the air in the entire fiendish demon battlefield suddenly froze. After Di Shurtian said coldly, the ancient city suddenly changed. The ancient city immediately pressed down on the demon god, who was wriggling violently, trying to reform its body. This move was like the heavens were falling and the earth was cracking. The void around the ancient city collapsed on the spot, and the void was destroyed. It pressed down on the huge mass of flesh. Bang! Ah! A terrifying boom rang out. The mass of flesh was pressed down on the spot. In an instant it was crushed into powder by the ancient city's vast and mighty force. Amidst a shrill scream, it was completely crushed into powder. Even the demon god's soul was destroyed on the spot. Under the ancient city's mighty force that could shatter the heavens and the earth. It was simply unstoppable. Boom! A mighty divine light radiated from the ancient city, and the surroundings of the ancient city were completely annihilated in an instant. Tyrannical earth, fire, water, and wind surged out, and countless terrifying destructive storms roared out from the shattered void. Lightning, fire, and storms instantly dyed the world into a doomsday scene. They roared and surged toward the ancient city, as if they wanted to completely destroy the culprit who had shattered the void. However, under this violent storm of destruction, the 1,000-demon city seemed to have existed for eternity. Any power that came before the ancient city would immediately emit an ancient and immortal aura. Waves of crystal light appeared, and no matter what kind of power bombarded the ancient city, it would not leave the slightest mark. It couldn't even shake the ancient city in the slightest. Humph! I might not be able to match great Emperor shrouding heaven, but I'm not afraid of you. So what if you're the sky demon? I've already built the 1,000 Fiend city, and it has boundless power. Watch as I completely crush you. Shirtian's eyes flickered as he scanned the area, and his gaze fell on the 3 sky demon. Retreat! Quickly return to the Abyss Battle Island. With the power of the Abyss Battle Island, we can contend with this ancient city. Damn it, how could that freak have such a powerful ancient city? Quick, let's go back to the Battle Island and use it to smash this ancient city. I don't believe this bullshit ancient city can contend with the Battle Island that the 8-armed fiend god clan created specifically for war. The 3 sky demon watched as one of the sky demons was crushed into nothingness by the 1,000 Fiend city, and their faces fell. Fiend gods were ruthless, but they also had consciousness and naturally felt fear. In the face of an invincible existence, they would also feel fear. Looking at the 1,000 Fiend city was like looking at an ancient fiend god. Without the slightest hesitation, they turned the war chariot around and rushed toward the Battle Island. At the same time, they gave the order, and countless flying devilish beasts rose into the air, forming a terrifying black cloud that covered the sky. Countless mournful cries rang out. They charged directly toward the 1,000 Fiend city. Humph! You want to run? You're courting death. Shirtian glanced at them coldly. Without any hesitation, Zhang Xian drove the 1,000 Fiend city forward with a thought. Bang bang bang! The 1,000 Fiend city had no walls, but it was replaced by the gate of heaven, which collided with countless devilish beasts. In the void of the 1,000 Fiend city, 4 invisible barriers appeared. Like walls, they directly sealed off all directions and emitted immortal divine light. A large number of devilish beasts were directly crushed into a mass of flesh and blood, and crazily splashed in all directions. Boom boom boom! The 1,000 Demon City was like an incomparably huge mountain, directly crashing over like a ferocious barbarian. Crash! 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 Without any skill, it ferociously crashed into the horde of devilish beasts with unparalleled ferocity. How could those devilish beasts block the unparalleled ferocious power of the ancient city? Without any resistance, they were crushed into a mass of flesh and blood, and countless devilish beasts covered the sky and earth and floated down on the battlefield. Ferocious! A supreme ferocious aura burst out from the 1,000 Fiend city. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 611. First update, Dong Dong Dong. With demonic beasts blocking the way, the 3 sky demon quickly returned to the Abyss Battle Island on the Abyss Chariot. In this war, a total of 12 Abyss chariots had appeared in the demon god continent. Each chariot represented a sky demon. 12 sky demons were enough to flatten the entire demon realm. However, one of them had been cleaved apart by Shirtian, and the other had been crushed into dust when the demon city appeared. Even his demonic soul had been completely annihilated. Completely annihilated. Of the 12 8-armed sky demon, only 10 were left. On the Abyssal Battle Island, there were hundreds of thousands of 8-armed demon gods. Each demon god was at least a demon king realm expert, which was equivalent to an ancient great demon. More than half of them were demon emperors. That was equivalent to a demon saint. And on the Abyss Battle Island, there was a huge black throne towering over the Abyss Battle Island. On the throne, a beautiful woman wrapped in black clothes was sitting upright. This woman had a cold expression on her face. She looked around mockingly, and her eyes were full of a playful look. It was as if, in her eyes, everything in front of her was a clown, an ant not worth mentioning. On her forehead, there was a strange mark of a demonic moon. The crescent moon was like a hook. Princess! The remaining 10 sky demons stood on the Abyss Chariot and looked at the demoness. There was no obvious demonic aura coming from the demoness, but the intimidation she exuded was stronger than the 10 sky demons. An invisible aura seemed to be suppressing the 10 eight-armed sky demon to look up at her. This was not only a superior status, but also a natural suppression in terms of rank and bloodline. Her face was extremely perfect, and she exuded a seductive aura. Looking at her black hair, there was a pair of pointed ears. Not only did it not seem strange, but it also set off a kind of perfection. Add endless beauty to it. If one had a clear understanding of her characteristics, they would know that the witch before them was from one of the countless demon god clans in the demon god continent, a star elf. She was infinitely close to being a superior clan, and the 10 sky demon in front of her actually called her a princess. From this, it could be seen that his identity was incomparably noble. Pass down my order. Beat the dragon rebel drum, and command the demonic beasts to attack that ancient city. Ba Lin, prepare to drive the Abyss Battle Island into the ancient city at any time. At some point in time, a small bow the size of a palm appeared in the hands of the princess. Specks of stars flickered on the bow, emitting a strange starlight. She looked at the 1,000-demon city that had appeared out of nowhere with great interest. Muttering to herself, I thought coming to the demon realm was just a boring thing to do, but I didn't expect the demon race, which has been in decline since ancient times, to give this princess such an interesting surprise. Interesting. I wonder if this ancient city can withstand one arrow from this princess. There was a touch of indifference in her muttering. She didn't care at all about the demonic beasts that blotted out the sky and covered the earth below. On the demon god continent, these demonic beasts were practically everywhere. They were endless and uncountable. In war, these demonic beasts were the vanguard. No matter how many of them died, it wouldn't be a pity. On the continent, who knew how many demonic beasts were born every day? Dong dong dong. After the princess gave the order, 9 eight-armed demon gods stood in front of the huge war drum at the same time. Their arms held huge drum hammers at the same time, and they frantically beat the drum. The tyrannical drumbeats shook the void outside of the island until it was destroyed inch by inch. Countless sound waves swept across the place. Roar. At the same time, countless black scales at the edge of the war drum opened up and spewed out a terrifying black mist. The mist instantly condensed into terrifying demonic dragons that were 50 to 60,000 feet long. The demonic dragons roared and danced wildly in the void, as if they had a mind of their own. Their huge eyes stared fixedly at the fiend city. As the drumbeats grew more rapid, more demonic dragons emerged from the war drum. Each one of them seemed to have physical form. They roared and gathered in the void. They danced wildly, stirring up the void and destroying it. As the demonic dragons converged, they were faintly showing signs of forming a terrifying formation. That war drum can actually form so many terrifying demonic dragons. Each one of them has the destructive power of the sky demon. Could the black scales on the war drum be formed from the demonic dragon's reverse scales? Heavens, if that's true, how many demonic dragons would have to be killed to refine this war drum? This treasure is so powerful. If it's pushed to the limit, just a single beat would be able to turn the void into chaos and shatter the dome of heaven. Countless people were incomparably shocked by the terrifying might of the war drum. Quick, look over there. The demonic beasts are attacking that ancient city. My goodness, there's so many demonic beasts. It's like an ocean. Most of them have the strength of a fiend king. There are hundreds of millions of demonic beasts gathered together. The sheer number of demonic beasts formed a demonic beast tide with unimaginable destructive power. The aura emanating from that ancient city is too powerful. Even the sky demon was suppressed and killed. It's simply too ferocious. I really don't know how this ancient city was built. Huh! Above the clouds, under the protection of the 4 heavenly gates, moving through the clouds, suppressing the heavens, could this be the legendary unparalleled divine city that was designed by some lunatic in ancient times? Impossible. That's impossible. It's impossible for that ancient city to appear. Materials that transcend the 5 elements cannot exist. Among the experts present, each of them was extremely knowledgeable. The old monsters who had lived for countless years didn't think much of the fiend city when they first saw it, but upon closer inspection, they couldn't help but think of an idea proposed by a lunatic in ancient times. It was an idea that was almost impossible to realize. That unparalleled divine city only existed in fantasy. Mere demonic beasts want to break through the fiend city that I spent so much effort to build. They're simply courting death. Chertion coldly swept a glance at the overwhelming demonic beast. Whether they were on the ground or in the sky, at this moment, they all soared into the sky and gathered into a demonic beast tide in the void. They turned into a black cloud and crazily crashed into the fiend city. Countless terrifying forces roared out from the demonic beast. The sky was filled with 9 underworld demonic flames, endless demonic blades, and thousands of sharp blades, all bombarded the ancient city. That scene, even the sky demons' faces changed. Temporarily avoid the attack. However, Chertion was not afraid. Instead, his heart became more and more ruthless. In the depths of his eyes there was a hint of terrifying madness. The fiend city is built with divine crystals. It's incomparably hard and indestructible. With the support of the immortal stone, mere demonic beasts want to break through the ancient city. Since you've come, then I will send you on a journey and completely annihilate you. Crash! Chertion's heart seemed to be burning with a blazing flame. Crash! Bang bang bang! Even if it had shrunk, the fiend city, which was still over 1,000,000 feet in size, completely unleashed its power. Like a huge savage beast of the barbaric era, it crashed into the demonic beast tide directly. On the spot, the ancient city collided with countless demonic beasts. The roar instantly resounded throughout the entire demon realm. The whole world was shaking violently. Countless voids were shattered. Countless powerful demonic beasts were hit by the fiend city. It was like a cow colliding with a mountain. Those demonic beasts' powerful bodies were like tofu, crushed on the spot. Countless pieces of flesh and blood splattered wildly in all directions. Rumble! Heaven and earth were silent. The fiend city suddenly rose into the sky and appeared above the countless demonic beasts. It was like an incomparably huge ancient seal, directly pressing down on the demonic beast. How huge and powerful was the fiend city! It could be said to be an incomparably terrifying divine artifact. Under the power of the embryonic membrane of heaven and earth, it had already completely fused into a whole. This pressure was almost enough to destroy the entire world. The heaven and earth below the ancient city suddenly shattered. Countless terrifying storms swept in all directions, affecting the entire demon realm. Under the ancient city's rage, even the sky demon would be crushed, let alone the billions of demonic beasts in front of them. Under the absolute tyrannical power, they could not even struggle and were crushed into meat paste on the spot. Countless rays of bloody light rushed into the sky, forming a bloody cloud. Countless drops of bloody rain drifted down, instantly dyeing the ground blood-red. All the demonic beasts on the fiendish demon battlefield were suppressed this time. They were completely annihilated. Countless pieces of flesh and blood fell from the sky and landed on the battlefield, forming a thick layer that was dozens of feet high. The thick stench of blood filled every inch of the void between heaven and earth. Tyrannical, ferocious, barbaric. The fiend city was really like an unparalleled demon god. It swept through all directions, and anyone who dared to provoke it would be crushed into powder, their souls completely destroyed. That terrifying scene caused the world to fall silent. Enveloped in the bloody rain, the fiend city was like an emperor bathed in divine light. Boom! 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 The fiend city suppressed the void, crushing countless demonic beasts. It looked coldly at the bloody rain in the sky and said resolutely, "Back then, I said that I would use the flesh and blood of countless demon gods to forge an altar. The altar would be called the Fiend's Sacrificial Altar. I would erect a stele on the altar. The name of the stele would be Brave Soul's Stele. Today is the day I fulfill my promise. Gather the boundless flesh and blood to forge the Fiend's sacrificial altar. The Fiend's city below trembled violently, suddenly erupting with boundless resplendent crystal light. It spread out and instantly landed on the bloody rain and the boundless flesh and blood on the battlefield. Immediately, the huge amount of flesh and blood seemed to be summoned, crazily gathering above the Fiend's city. The crystal light enveloped the entire ancient city. It turned into a crystal pillar that reached the sky. Under D. Shirtian's control, the power of the Fiend's city instantly surged out. The crystal light enveloped the flesh and blood. It surged endlessly into the flesh and blood. Immediately, the flesh and blood that gathered endlessly from the battlefield in the void seemed to have a life of their own. They wriggled violently and continuously merged together. The boundless flesh and blood whizzed up, strangely forming a huge blood-colored vortex. The vortex exuded a strong suction force, sucking in the flesh and blood from all directions, causing the blood-colored vortex to turn even denser. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 612. Second update. Moreover, a strange fragrance was being emitted from the blood-red vortex, and when one breathed it in, one's mind would be refreshed and instantly recover to peak condition. It was the fragrance of flesh and blood. The vortex spun with incredible speed, and as it continued to devour flesh and blood, it didn't grow any larger. It only grew brighter and deeper. This was a type of refinement, a refinement of the flesh and blood of millions upon millions of magical beasts into the purest form of flesh and blood essence. Vaguely, tiny blood-colored crystals could be seen within the vortex. These crystals were formed when the flesh and blood essence reached a certain level of purity. Heroic soul. Return. Clang. Clang. Indra looked at the blood-colored vortex shrouded in the crystal light, allowing the vortex to swallow the endless crystal light. The crystal light was the power of the demon city, and the vortex swallowed the crystal light, unconsciously connecting with the entire ancient city. Once it took shape, it would fuse with the ancient city. At the same time, he unsheathed Tiger Soul and reached out with his left hand. Saber light flashed, and a gash appeared on his index finger, causing blood to gush out. Even with the colossal body of the giant, the golden blood that spurted out of the wound was like a fountain of blood that was constantly spurting out of the wound. It was a terrifying sight to behold. However, he did not stop him. He extended his finger and waved it in front of him. His waving was not without order, as if he was drawing something. Every time he drew a stroke, some blood would flow out from his index finger. This blood was drawing some kind of mysterious seal script. Lines of golden seal text were quickly formed. Heroic soul. Return. When these golden seal characters were formed, there were faint sounds of prayers coming from the seal characters, as if they were alive. Aeon Martyr Sacrifice? You want to use the Aeon Martyr Sacrifice to refine an altar? These are sacrificial runes that only appear when refining blood altars. Underworld couldn't help but cry out in surprise when he saw D. Shirtian use the Aeon Martyr Sacrifice. These runes were none other than the Aeon Martyr Sacrifice he had once used in the Skysplit Tower. Every sacrificial inscription that was condensed from blood had a mysterious power. Legend had it that it was written specifically for those peerless experts who had fallen in the ancient times. As soon as he was born, he possessed inconceivable power. As long as there were such sacrificial rites, one should immediately stay away from them. If they violated it, they would be cursed for no reason, suffering unimaginable misfortune. This was a kind of power that protected the soul of an expert. That's right. I want to refine the demon sacrificial altar using the same method as the blood sacrificial altar. All those buried on the altars could have immortal heroic spirits. Anyone who has contributed to the demon city should be qualified to do so, Chertion said in a deep voice. His hands were rapidly writing out a series of sacrificial runes. These sacrificial runes condensed into golden words in front of him. When they were connected together, they formed a complete sacrificial rune. Go! Under Chertion's control, the funeral glyphs quickly flew into the blood-red vortex. Every time a funeral glyphs entered, the blood-red vortex would undergo an incredible change. Within the vortex, countless blood-red crystals rapidly condensed. Boom, boom, boom. Finally, when the last funeral glyphs entered the vortex, the entire vortex underwent an earth-shattering change. The entire vortex suddenly stopped spinning. In an instant, it converged like flowing water and condensed into an ancient blood-red altar. It solidified and turned into a blood-red crystal. A three-tiered, nine-cornered altar appeared in the void. On the altar, countless golden sacrificial runes continuously appeared. Among them, one could faintly hear the sound of summoning heroic spirits. Bang! The blood-red altar crashed into the demon city and stood in the middle of the city. In an instant, it completely merged with the entire ancient city and became a part of the demon city. The demon sacrificial altar has been refined. It's time to refine the heroic spirit tablet, Indra said expressionlessly. His eyes swept over the demon god's side. In his voice, that cold, killing intent could be clearly felt by anyone. Sheer, lead the demons and enter the ancient city. Indra listened to the tragic drumbeats, which were like hundreds of millions of terrifying dragon roars. A large number of demons were beating the war drums in a frenzy. From the drums, demonic dragons rushed out endlessly and gathered in the void. In front of him, there were already thousands of demonic dragons emerging. The vast dragons might directly press the surrounding space until it was constantly distorted. Although one strike could directly destroy billions of demon beasts, the demon gods were nothing compared to the demon gods. However, these demonic beasts were merely cannon fodder to the demon god clan. No matter how many of them died, they would not feel the slightest bit of heartache. It was already a great honor for them to be able to stop Chertion for a while. They were accumulating their strength to destroy the demon city in one fell swoop. On the Abyss Battle Island, the princess was still watching with interest. She had no intention of interfering, which was very strange. Chertion took a deep breath. The demon city under him shook violently. The countless white clouds around the ancient city changed strangely and gathered together to form a huge stairway that extended from the ancient city to Chunxi. The stairway to heaven led him to the front of the southern heaven gate. Uncle, quickly let the other demon clans climb up the heaven stairway. The current war is no longer something they can intervene in. If they stay on the battlefield, even if they are in the demon realm, they will be in danger of dying at any time. If they are slightly affected, they will immediately die on the spot. Now, the safest place is my husband's demon city. When she saw the thousands of demons city suppressing the four directions and the vast power that killed the demonic beasts in one fell swoop, the excitement and pride in her heart was simply indescribable. When she saw Sakura descending the sky stairway, how could she not know that he was afraid that the following battle would harm the remaining demons? In the entire demon realm, the safest place was the ancient city. Gord Luzi's eyes were deep and flickering. His eyes revealed an unprecedented excitement. The ancient city in front of him had given him a huge shock. He thought to himself, is this really the ancient city of the demon realm? However, at this moment there was no choice at all. The entire demon realm was being ravaged by the terrifying power. Everywhere the earth was collapsing. If the battle continued, the entire demon realm would be in danger of completely collapsing. Let's go, all of us into the ancient city. With a shout, the demons agreed. Immediately, the demons carried their unconscious companions and rushed up the stairway. Once they reached the stairway, they were instantly transported to the southern heaven gate. After passing through the gate, they naturally entered the ancient city. Even the rock demon king and the others were unwilling to be left behind. Looking at the endless stream of demons entering the ancient city, Sakura secretly nodded his head. Once the demons entered the city, he no longer had any worries. Even if the entire demon realm was shattered, with the power of the ancient city, it was enough to protect all the demons in the city and not suffer any harm. At most, he could directly pass through the void and leave the demon realm. Now that he had nothing to worry about, he could truly give it his all. Roar, roar, roar. Just as Di-Shir-Tian led all the demons into the city, the terrifying sound of the demonic drum finally stopped. However, in the void, a domineering dragon roar instantly sounded. Boom, boom, boom. Up in the void, terrifying black demonic dragons danced their bodies in a frenzy, shattering the space around them, turning the surroundings into a scene of doomsday. Demonic dragons, so many demonic dragons, there were a total of 9,999 of them. Demonic dragon formation. The remaining 10 sky demon kings looked at each other and roared at the same time. Suddenly, the demonic dragons in the sky seemed to have received some kind of order and quickly move. In an instant, they spread to every corner of the void and covered a large area of the void. Boundless demonic chi covered the sky. If one looked closely, they seemed to be scattered in a mysterious pattern. Boom, boom, boom. Crack. The dragons roared. Suddenly, endless black demonic clouds appeared out of nowhere in the void and quickly spread in all directions. Pitch-black lightning flashed crazily. The bolts were extremely sharp and seemed to be able to split the void. One could see cracks in the void under the lightning. It was extremely terrifying. The black demonic clouds expanded at an unbelievable speed. It was like the most terrifying demon in the world. It covered the sky and covered the demon city that stood in the clouds. Almost instantly, it covered the sky above the ancient city. The black demonic clouds brought about an extremely oppressive aura. It filled the entire demon realm. Call the wind and summon the rain. Demonic dragon destroys the world. Demonic clouds shrouded the world. It was not just the fiendish demon battlefield, but the entire underground world, covering every inch of space. The entire world instantly plunged into darkness. At this moment, countless terrifying dragon roars merged into a roar filled with the aura of death in the demonic clouds. Woo woo woo. From the demonic clouds, waves of black demonic wind blew down. In the air, there was a terrifying roar. This demonic wind could be seen with the naked eye. Coincidentally, there was a huge mountain in front of the demonic wind. However, the demonic wind did not evade and directly rushed through it. Moreover, it was as if the mountain did not exist at all. The demonic wind passed through it and continued to spread in all directions. Crash! The huge mountain that had stood for tens of thousands of years suddenly collapsed and turned into powder in an instant. It turned into countless powders and scattered in all directions. A huge mountain was easily annihilated. 9 underworld demonic wind? In the void outside the realm, a cry of surprise was heard. It was directly transmitted to the demon realm. Di-Shir-Tian raised his head and looked at the void. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. He had long known that there would be countless pairs of eyes spying in the dark. So what if they're spying? Today is destined to be the day when the demon city will shock the heavens. The target of this shock is none other than you guys who can't see the light. Di-Shir-Tian snorted in his heart. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com. I support the author, I support the original reading. Chapter 613. Third update complete. Requesting monthly vote. Along with the 9 underworld demonic wind, pitch-black demonic rain began to fall from the sky. It streaked across the sky and landed on the ground. Immediately, Strange sizzling sounds came from the hard ground of the fiendish demon battlefield. The raindrops penetrated the ground, creating terrifying holes in the ground. It directly corroded the ground. When the raindrops landed on the vegetation withered on the spot, instantly turning into a wisp of black smoke and dissipating. Moreover, as the 9 underworld demonic wind became more and more intense, the demonic rain in the sky instantly became denser. In the blink of an eye, it almost covered the sky and earth. The sky and earth were completely connected by the demonic rain and poured down. However, when the demonic rain fell, the entire ground instantly began to corrode violently. The ground was disappearing at a speed visible to the naked eye. It kept disappearing like snowflakes in the summer that saw the sun. That scene was indescribably frightening. Hiss! Outside the realm, countless experts sucked in a breath of cold air at the same time and exclaimed in shock, 3 lights demonic water. This is the 3 lights demonic rain. Heavens, this thing can corrode everything. Any living being touched by it will immediately fester and be corroded by the demonic water. Their divine soul will be destroyed. 9 underworld demonic wind and 3 lights demonic rain. The combination of these 2 terrifying things can probably turn the entire fiendish demon realm into a wasteland in an instant. The demonic wind could blow away everything, and even the divine soul could be blown away in an instant. Terrifying, too terrifying. Is this the demonic dragon world-destroying array that the demonic god continent used in the ancient times? Legend has it that the demonic god continent used the world-destroying array in the ancient times. It once used 9 billion demonic dragons to set up the array at the same time. A world-destroying storm caused the deaths of billions of living beings. The entire source continent was severely damaged. I never thought that I would be able to witness such a supreme demonic array with my own eyes. In the void it was like a bazaar. Many consciousnesses were frantically discussing and exclaiming in disbelief. However, their eyes did not blink at all, afraid that they would miss even a moment of the scene. Such a supreme demonic array was not something that could be seen easily. To be able to witness it with one's own eyes was also a supreme opportunity. Perhaps one could gain some incredible enlightenment from it. Furthermore, this was the beginning of the most intense battle between the demon gods and the demon clan. How could he miss this opportunity so easily? Especially when Di Shirtian's demon city appeared, it attracted even more attention. What unparalleled divine city! How can it compare to the divine weapons of our 10 great immortal sects? Let him and the demon god fight until both sides are injured. At that time, we will let the heavens see who is the real supreme divine weapon. That's right. A rundown city wants to suppress the heavens? What a fool's dream. From an unknown place, he saw the scene in the demon realm and said disdainfully. It seemed that the experts of the 10 great immortal sects were having a conversation. Crack! Pitch-black thunderbolts roared violently, one after another, cutting through the void, completely destroying the space, exuding a terrifying power. The vast demonic power completely suppressed the entire demon world. Furthermore, the majority of the oppressive might instantly press down on the 1,000 demon city. The pressure was so great that even the void started to collapse. This lightning should be the most terrifying apocalyptic demon lightning of the apocalyptic demon formation. It is said that this demon lightning has the power to return heaven and earth to chaos and destroy the world. Boom! 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 The heavens and earth were dark. Violent demonic winds and demonic rain swept madly towards the 1,000 demon city. In the dark demonic clouds, countless black thunderbolts descended violently, directly bombarding the 1,000 demon city. This was to completely destroy the 1,000 demon city. In an instant, hundreds of millions of thunderbolts, countless whirlwinds, and overwhelming demonic rain vaguely surrounded the 1,000 demon city completely under the attack. There was no blind spot. No power could stop this terrifying apocalyptic storm. If one was really sucked in, even a supreme treasure would be destroyed in an instant. Boom! The huge thousand-demon city shook violently, causing the surrounding void to vibrate violently. A vast aura exuded from the ancient city. Outside the ancient city, countless white clouds instantly gathered, blocking the city outside. At the same time, layers of strange thunderclouds appeared in the sky. Below the ancient city, layers of underground world also appeared. Deshirtian's expression did not change at all. Without any expression, he shouted coldly, 9 heavens 10 earths God slaying demon annihilating seal. Heavenly cycle of stars. He shouted again. Suddenly, the huge starry demon sealing tombstone that stood in the ancient city shook violently. The vast power of the stars was instantly released from the tombstone. 365 stars appeared on the tombstone and instantly flew out from the tombstone. They quickly hung above the ancient city and rapidly expanded into bright stars. Endless divine light erupted from the starry demon sealing tombstone. Under the activation of Deshirtian's ancient city's power, the ancient tombstone that had been silent for an unknown number of years completely released the endless power that had annihilated countless demon gods in ancient times. Whoosh! 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 Across the demon realm, in the ancient star space, although it was still daytime on the entire land of origin, the stars in the starry sky lit up one after another, bursting with bright starlight. They turned into rays of starlight that crossed countless voids and appeared in the demon realm, landing among the 365 stars. Rumble! The 365 stars trembled violently and released endless light. The vast power of the stars was released and instantly enveloped the entire ancient city. The surrounding scenery suddenly changed and vaguely seemed to be in a star space. Countless stars were orbiting in an inconceivably profound and mysterious way. An unimaginable power was released. Deshirtian instantly activated the 2 killing moves in the demon ancient city, the starry demon sealing tombstone and the 9 heavens and 10 earths God slaying demon annihilating seal. In an instant the outside of the ancient city turned into a world of stars. The ancient city was wrapped in countless stars, and above it, 9 layers of thunderclouds appeared. Almost instantly, the mighty force that burst forth caused the entire world to tremble violently. Boom! 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 The 9 underworld demonic wind blew over and first collided with the heavenly cycle stellar formation. The demonic wind blew into the star space and countless stars were instantly annihilated in the demonic wind, turning into dust. However, at the same time, countless stars were born in an instant. The power of thousands of stars turned into starry blades that bombarded the demonic wind. Countless rays of starlight penetrated the demonic wind and enveloped it, completely annihilating it. The demonic wind was endless and the power of the stars was inexhaustible. It blocked the demonic wind in the star space, and could not even get close to the demon city. However, endless demonic rain attacked again. However, the power of the stars almost permeated the entire star space. As soon as the demonic rain entered, it collided with the power of the stars in the blink of an eye. Crack! The pitch-black demonic thunder tore through the space and bombarded the city. It collided with the stars, and the stars were immediately shattered by the demonic thunder of annihilation. The demonic thunder of annihilation continued to bombard the ancient city. However, before it could touch the ancient city, it first collided with the 9 layers of thundercloud. Within the thunderclouds, tens of thousands of lightning bolts interweaved together. At every moment, there was a sea of lightning being annihilated. The demonic thunder of annihilation rushed into the thundercloud. Countless divine thunderbolts in the thunderclouds immediately attacked the demonic thunder of annihilation as if they had met their nemesis. In order for the demonic thunder of annihilation to reach the thunderclouds, it first had to pass through the heavenly cycle stellar formation. After being worn down by the power of the stars, it then entered the thunderclouds and collided with countless divine thunderbolts. countless roars were heard in the thunderclouds. The demonic thunder of annihilation had the power to destroy the world. However, it could only penetrate 2 layers of thunderclouds before it was completely annihilated. At the same time, the thunderclouds devoured the demonic thunder. Faintly, the thundercloud's color became deeper. This meant that the seal had become more powerful. The demon city had become so powerful that even the demonic dragon of annihilation formation could not do anything to it. How is this possible? The demonic dragon of annihilation formation has the power to destroy the world. How can it not damage the ancient city? This is the 9 underworld demonic wind, triple brilliance demonic water, and demonic thunder of annihilation. Each of them can destroy the world. Impossible. The great formation laid out by 9,999 demonic dragons might not even be able to block it. How could they not be able to destroy that damned ancient city if they wanted to avoid it? Seeing that the demonic dragon of annihilation formation could not destroy the ancient city, the demon gods on the Abyss War Island were in an uproar. Each of them widened their eyes and could not believe what they were seeing. It's actually the heavenly cycle stellar formation, the 9 heavens 10 earths god slaying demon annihilation formation. TSK, this ancient city is comparable to the strongest tortoise shell. However, it seems that the heavenly cycle stellar formation is not complete. Its control is too rigid. It can't display its full power at all. However, this is already extremely terrifying. With the appearance of the ancient city, I'm afraid that the demon race will really have a turning point, an opportunity to rise up. Socrates stood in the ancient city. Stars revolved around him and thunderclouds roared, making him look incomparably tall. Looking up at the sky, he saw demonic dragons shuttling back and forth in the demonic clouds, letting out roars. The demonic wind and demonic rain outside were becoming more and more terrifying under their control. It was so dark that he could not see anything clearly. Today, I, Deshirtion, will represent the entire demon race and let out the first cry to the myriad of worlds. Deshirtion's deep voice began to spread in all directions in an instant, penetrating the void and spreading across the entire demon world. Although it was not loud, it reached everyone's ears. His voice carried an invisible majesty. The demon race shall not be humiliated. The last 6 words carried a terrifying power, as if it was attracting the ancient spirits of the demon race. In the void, countless terrifying heavenly thunders exploded. Blood Kill Guards! Your subordinate is here. Blood Kill Guards, listen to my command. Kill the sky demon dragons on behalf of I. Deshirtion calmly said. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. I support the author and I support the original readers. Chapter 6:14. The Blood Kill Guard obeys the Emperor's order. The Blood Kill Guard's cold voice echoed in the ancient city. Boom, 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 boom. The tall terracotta warriors that had been standing in the ancient city like motionless statues suddenly emitted a terrifying murderous aura. Countless mystical patterns appeared on the crystal-like terracotta warriors. Countless blood patterns emerged from the patterns and instantly covered the entire body of the terracotta warriors. They turned into blood terracotta warriors. Ah! Ah! The aura that was emitted from the blood terracotta warriors drove the surrounding airflow and pushed the demons that were close to them away at a rapid speed. They were pushed hundreds of feet away. That kind of power made most of the demon race unable to resist at all. They only had time to let out a cry of surprise. No one expected that these terracotta warriors that stood in the ancient city like works of art would suddenly burst out with such a domineering and shocking power. Why did these terracotta warriors suddenly come to life? Aren't these sculptures placed here? So powerful, so powerful. This power is even stronger than the demon saint. What are these terracotta warriors? Are they all subordinates of the demon king? The demons that originally belonged to the demon realm entered the demon city for the first time. Moreover, it was the first time they saw the terracotta warriors and the blood kill guards. Who would have thought that the original statues would suddenly become the most powerful existence in the world? Every awakened blood kill guard had a powerful aura that was not inferior to the demon saint. Moreover, it was faintly superior. For a moment they were so shocked that even their eyeballs were about to fall out. Ha ha! It's the blood kill guards. It's His Majesty's blood kill guards. I heard from Lord Fox that each of these blood kill guards has a combat strength stronger than the demon saint. If they are blood kill generals, they can be compared to heaven demons. That's great. With the appearance of the blood kill guards, they will definitely be able to kill those bullsh *T demons. 18 blood kill generals and 100,000 blood kill guard. Today, our demon city will make all the worlds in the universe tremble. The demon clan, who originally belonged to the demon city, showed an incomparably joyful expression on their faces. They began to shout excitedly one after another. After accumulating for countless years, they would shock the heavens and the heavens today. The demon race had been waiting for this day to come. They had been waiting for too long. I didn't expect Tion to have such terrifying power. Whether it was the heavenly demons like Gourd Seed or Demon King Rock's group, they were all shocked. No one could have imagined that there would be such an inconceivably large army in this ancient city. The Dream Demon King's deep eyes were filled with a profound realization as he muttered to himself, "So, this is the 1,000-demon city that you have always wanted to build. So, back when you were in the southern barbarian lands, you had already been secretly accumulating strength to build it, waiting for today to shock the world with a single brilliant feat, suppressing the heavens. Such great courage, as expected of a natural-born king." He had already made up his mind, and now he was even more determined. Bang, bang, bang! All the blood-killing guards opened their previously closed eyes at the same time. Their eyes were all blood-red, like the most perfect crystals. On each of their backs was a blood-red battle saber that looked like a tiger's soul. They stepped forward and began to gather in the direction of the southern heavenly gate. 100,000 blood-killing guards gathered in various positions in the city. The steady footsteps sounded like they were stepping on people's hearts. With a strong deterrent force, they quickly gathered in front of the southern heavenly gate. 100,000! 100,000 blood-killing guards coldly and sternly lined up in neat rows. Their gazes swept across the surroundings. In front, 10 blood-killing generals stood proudly. Among the 18 blood-killing generals, 8 of them guarded the 4 heavenly gate. The rest of them were all gathered here. Clang! A slender battle saber was unsheathed. In front, a blood-killing general said sternly, "His Majesty has ordered that the target is to kill Mo Long. Kill him without mercy. Kill, kill, kill." 100,000 blood-killing guards pulled out their battle sabers at the same time. The battle sabers were made of divine crystals. They were extremely tough and sharp. Together with them, there was nothing they could not overcome. In their minds, there was only Tian's order and their killing instinct. They responded coldly and spat out the word "kill" 3 times. With every roar, they took a step forward. The murderous aura on their bodies was no longer concealed. It burst out of their bodies and directly turned into the most terrifying aura, sweeping across the surroundings. Above their heads, a terrifying blood-colored cloud gathered. An aura of death was emitted from the blood-colored cloud. It was enough to shock the entire world. Kill, kill, kill! The cold roar sounded again. Under the leadership of the 10 blood-killing generals, 100,000 blood-killing guards stepped out of Demon City. Their bodies seemed to be made of blood crystals, giving each of them an extremely domineering body. They stepped in the void as if they were stepping on flat ground. However, the void under their feet collapsed. It turned into countless violent forces that burst out and blasted on the blood-killing guard. However, it did not even leave a trace on their bodies. Die! The blood-killing general directly stepped out of the range of the 9 heavens and 10 earths, god-slaying demon-slaying seal and massive heavenly cycle-stellar formation. He looked up and saw the dark demonic clouds above his head. His eyes shot out a blood-colored light that seemed to be solid and directly pierced into the demonic clouds. Roar! A demonic dragon just happened to come out of the demonic clouds and wanted to stir up the wind and rain. However, as soon as the dragon head came out of the demonic clouds, it immediately met the 2 blood-colored lights that shot out from the blood-killing general's eyes. The demonic dragon let out a mournful dragon roar, and its entire head was pierced through on the spot. It exploded into pieces with a loud bang. It lost its head. The demonic dragon fell from the demonic clouds on the spot. The strange thing was that the demonic dragon actually spat out a large amount of demonic dragon blood. It fell directly into the battlefield. Bang! The demonic dragon's body, which was thousands of feet long, slammed heavily on the ground, causing the ground to shake violently as if a terrible earthquake had suddenly occurred. The demonic dragon summoned from the demonic drum was not illusory, but had flesh and blood. When it was summoned, it strangely grew flesh and blood. This demonic device was simply unbelievably powerful. However, the blood-killing general was even more terrifying. With just a glance, he killed the demonic dragon. Hiss! In the void, it was unknown how many people were sucking in cold breath. What exactly is this blood-colored statue? It's so terrifying. What an amazing killing power. With just a glance, it actually killed a demonic dragon on the spot. Terrifying, too terrifying. This blood figurine is even more terrifying than a heavenly demon. I can feel the aura of death from it. What exactly is this thing? A puppet? It's a different kind of life form. This killing aura is so familiar. Why is it so similar to the soldier soul in the fallen god abyss? Bang bang bang! At the same time, 100,000 blood-killing guards followed behind. They walked out of the massive heavenly cycle-stellar formation and rushed directly into the demonic cloud. The 9 nether demonic wind and 3 light demonic rain from the demonic clouds fell on their bodies. The demonic wind and demonic rain could not damage their tough bodies at all. They could not cause any damage to the blood-killing guards. Crack! Destructive demonic thunderbolts bombarded with a terrifying destructive power that could destroy heaven and earth. Kill! However, the blood-killing guards did not even have the slightest change in their expressions. They just coldly waved the war sabers in their hands, infusing them with endless killing power, and slashed at the demonic thunderbolts. When the sabers collided with the demonic thunderbolts, they ferociously dispersed the demonic thunderbolts. The blood-killing guards did not suffer any damage after being bombarded by the demonic thunderbolt. It was simply too ferocious. Even a heavenly demon might not dare to get close to the demonic thunderbolt. 100,000 blood-killing guards rushed into the demonic clouds. Without a trace of emotion, they shuttled through the demonic clouds in search of the demonic dragons. Those demonic dragons were like dogs and chickens in front of the blood-killing guards. They were instantly slaughtered. Roar, roar, roar! Mournful dragon roars rang out one after another. In the entire sky, huge demonic dragons fell from the demonic clouds one after another. Demonic blood continued to sprinkle down. The sounds of battle cries tore through the heavens. The demonic clouds that shrouded the void were cut into countless pieces and constantly dispersed. The demonic wind that blew between heaven and earth strangely began to dissipate. Rumble! Suddenly, there was a loud noise in the void. The entire demonic clouds were destroyed. 9,999 demonic dragons fell at the same time. The demonic dragon Armageddon formation collapsed on the spot. The demonic clouds in the void dissipated, and rays of light filled heaven and earth. In the void, one could see 10 blood-killing guards leading 100,000 blood-killing guards standing in the sky. Their bodies were unusually cold. They were incomparably austere. Between heaven and earth, endless killing intent crazily surged into their bodies. Killing intent was the best nourishment in heaven and earth. The more they devoured, the more their strength would increase. They were terrifying beings that were born from slaughter. Interesting. They can actually break through the demonic dragon Armageddon formation. The first 10 are comparable to Sky Demon, and the 100,000 behind are comparable to Demon Emperors. Moreover, they are alive. Enchantment actually has such a foundation. It seems that the news of the decline of the demon clan is not accurate. The princess sitting on the battle island looked meaningfully at the 100,000 blood kill guards standing in the air with murderous intent. She could feel the terrifying killing intent in their bodies that could destroy heaven and earth. She muttered to herself, "Ba Lin, activate the battle island and smash it into this princess." This abyss battle island is made of abyss cold iron from the endless abyss and has countless restrictions. It is a weapon of war. Let's see if the ancient city or the battle island is more powerful. The princess spat out these words with great interest. "Yes, princess!" The 10 celestial demons roared, and the 100,000 8-armed demonic gods on the island roared as well, pouring their power into the battle island. Immediately, the entire battle island rumbled violently, and waves of pitch-black light shone out. It faintly emitted an ancient and desolate aura. It was as if an ancient demon god was awakening. Interesting. The starlight demonic bow that the princess was playing with suddenly glowed with brilliant starlight. It began to expand in an instant. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 616. First update received. Urgent need for monthly tickets. This ancient city is not bad. I wonder if it can withstand an arrow from my plenilune constellation bow. The elven princess looked at the demon city in the air with great interest. She seemed to be suddenly interested. The plenilune constellation bow in her hand suddenly began to expand and instantly turned into a gorgeous magic bow. On the demonic bow there were signs of stars. Vaguely, there was even a pitch-black demonic moon that was surrounded by stars. It seemed to naturally exude an ancient aura. Almost all the time, the magic bow was constantly gathering the power of the stars and devouring it. Fine. It's rare that I'm interested in coming here. If I don't have some fun and go back like this, it'll be too boring. Today, I'll let this ancient magic weapon of mine show some power here. Otherwise, if the news of you slaughtering hundreds of millions of magic beasts and breaking my magic dragon world annihilation formation gets out, won't the demon god continent's reputation be tarnished? The elven princess muttered to herself indifferently. She would not take ordinary things to heart. The war in front of her did not seem to arouse her interest at all. However, she still wanted to save some face. She looked at the demon city. She raised the plenilune constellation bow and stretched out her snow-white hand. With a natural charm, she placed it directly on the bowstring and gently pulled the magic bow. There was no long arrow on the bowstring. What she pulled was just an empty bowstring. However, when she pulled the bowstring, the infinite vitality between heaven and earth instantly gathered toward the magic bow and was converted into pure power of the stars by the magic bow. It gathered together. Strangely, it formed a star arrow that seemed to be condensed from countless stars that were as small as pearls. Looking at the twinkling starlight on the star arrow, it faintly emitted endless magic brilliance. On it, countless mysterious magic patterns were constantly flashing. It made this star arrow look as if it was real. The sharp tip of the arrowhead naturally revealed a sharp glint. Swoosh! The demonic bow was drawn to a full moon. Without any hesitation, it was aimed at the towering figure of Enchantment, who was standing in the middle of the ancient city. A sharp light pierced through the air. She released her hand and the bowstring let out an intense sound. The star arrow that was emitting black light was like a meteor chasing after the moon, leaving behind a trail of bright starlight. Star armor-piercing arrow. This arrow was aimed at Chertion. That frightening sharpness almost instantly stimulated Chertion. His mind suddenly started to beat wildly. He only felt that the skin around his heart had countless goosebumps without any warning. He could not help but reflexively look forward. A shocking starlight appeared in his eyes. It was leaving the bowstring of the magic bow and breaking through the air. The tip of the arrow was aimed at his heart. "Humph! You want to kill I? Break the massive heavenly cycle-stellar formation and the ancient city's restriction first." Chertion's pupils suddenly contracted violently. A touch of coldness appeared in his heart. An invisible anger surged into his mind. A feeling of being offended surged into his heart. An emperor could not be humiliated so easily. "If you want to shoot me, I'll kill you first." Sakra's tiger-like eyes flashed and revealed a supreme majesty. It was as if there was a ball of fire throbbing in his heart. When he saw that meteor-like arrow piercing through the sky towards him, he unrestrainedly launched a counterattack. He roared. He did not intend to stay in the air and wait for the star arrow to kill him. "Whoever dares to provoke me today, I'll kill you." Rumble. With a thought, Chertion's body had completely merged with the entire demon city. His legs, which were stepping on the ancient city, were completely merged with the ground. It was as if they were directly grown out of the ancient city. He had merged his primordial spirit with the ancient city from the very beginning. The ancient city was like a clone. When he used it, it was as easy as waving his arm. However, to control such a powerful ancient city, it was an immeasurable burden to his primordial spirit and willpower. Without extraordinary willpower, even the ancient city could not be controlled. This was like a huge life source magic treasure. Whether or not one could unleash its power depended on whether one had that ability. Every time Chertion controlled the ancient city to attack, he would need to consume a huge amount of true power. Heaven Origin Pill, turn I into innate essence chi. Controlling the ancient city, overlooking the heavens, I'll kill you. Chertion's body swallowed 1,000,000 Heaven Origin Pills, turning them into a huge amount of essence chi and pouring it into the demon city. It was like the most barbaric demon in the world crazily colliding with the star arrow. Bang! Outside the demon city, there was the protection of the stars. 365 stars formed a starry sky. The 9 heavens, 10 earth gods slaying demon exterminating seal protected the ancient city. This collision was like an ancient giant's anger. It rushed over fiercely, and the surrounding void, the violent power caused the heaven and earth to completely collapse. The void shook. With a loud boom, it collided with the star arrow. That star arrow was extremely sharp and domineering. It was the supreme archery skill of the elf clan, the god-slaying meteor arrow. Legend had it that the god-slaying meteor arrow had a total of 9 arrows. Each arrow had an invincible and boundless power. This arrow was one of them, the star armor-piercing arrow. The word armor-piercing represented the boundless sharpness of the arrow. No matter how tough the armor was or how strong the defense was, under this arrow, it would be completely penetrated and broken apart. It was unstoppable. It was said that when the god-slaying meteor arrow was cultivated to the highest level, it could shoot down stars, kill unparalleled gods and demons, and shoot down the sun and moon with a raise of the hand. The sharpness was so strong that even unparalleled experts would fall in front of this unparalleled archery skill. With this collision of the ancient city, the massive heavenly cycle-stellar array also followed suit. The star arrow carried endless starlight and contained a violent demonic aura. The arrow directly shot into the star space formed by the massive heavenly cycle-stellar array. Bang bang bang! The star arrow was unimaginably sharp. Stars blocked in front of the arrow, but they couldn't stop it at all. The arrow instantly pierced through the stars. Immediately, One could see that the stars were pierced through, leaving a terrifying hole in the stars from the front to the back. The stars were annihilated inch by inch. They quickly collapsed. Not only was the light of the stars on the arrow not depleted, but it became even more dazzling and sharp. In an instant, it pierced through hundreds of stars in succession. It directly pierced through the entire small star space. It appeared in front of the 9 heavens and 10 earths, God-slaying demon annihilating seal. It pierced through layers of seals in succession. The arrow landed on the southern heavenly gate. Rumble. It was impossible to estimate how powerful the star armor-piercing arrow was. The arrow contained a supreme will that could break through and penetrate everything. With this kind of will, if there was light, there would be light between heaven and earth. If it wanted to break through and penetrate everything, it could penetrate anything in front of it. It was simply unimaginably powerful. Oh no, this arrow contains supreme will. It's a peerless archery skill. Quickly activate the southern heavenly gate's immortal power and seal power to block it. Ming roared loudly. Only he knew how terrifying such a peerless skill that contained supreme will was. These were all peerless skills. Each peerless skill didn't only contain its power, but also the supreme will contained in the battle skill. Only with the will in the peerless skill could one possess the terrifying power to change the world and make the sun and moon fall. This kind of will could only be obtained when one reached the heaven monster level. For others who didn't comprehend this kind of will, even if they had peerless skills, they wouldn't be able to unleash the true power of the skill. At most, they would only be able to unleash 30% of the skill's power. This arrow, contained an unparalleled will. The will was, penetrate, break through armor, break through everything in front of it. Even gods would be pierced through. The supreme divine seal still couldn't erase the sharpness of the star arrow. However, the star light on the arrow dimmed significantly, but it still contained supreme will as the arrow hit the southern heavenly gate. Rumble. The southern heavenly gate was made by imitating the innate spiritual treasure, the 4 heavenly gate. It consumed countless natural treasures and various rare treasures. There were 2 types of divine stones, the immortal stone and the sealing stone. It could make the ancient city eternal. It was extremely tough. As soon as the star arrow hit the southern heavenly gate, beams of immortal light and sealing light instantly blazed on the southern heavenly gate. They turned into the toughest barrier in front of the arrow. Break through armor! Break through armor! There was a boundless will roaring crazily in the arrow. The tiny stars that formed the body of the arrow suddenly exploded. Every time a star exploded, the arrow would receive an unimaginable amount of power, pushing the arrow forward and piercing through everything. Bang! Bang! 108 stars formed a star arrow. At this moment, the stars that formed the arrow exploded one after another. Every time a star exploded, the power of the arrow would be pushed to a higher level. 36 stars exploded in a row. The entire body of the arrow became incomparably bright, as if a real star had fallen from the sky. The entire demon city couldn't help but shake violently at this moment. It caused the surrounding void to shake, shattering thousands of spaces. The power of eternity and the power of seals were completely penetrated by this frightening will power. Crack! The star arrow pierced through the southern heavenly gate. However, the light on the arrow dimmed even more, but its power was enough to break the heavens and earth. The tip of the arrow shot straight toward Di Shirtian's heart. Clang! However, just as the star arrow was about to pierce through his heart, Di Shirtian's eyes shone brightly. He roared and twisted his wrist. The tiger's soul was placed horizontally in front of his heart at an unbelievable angle. The boundless royal true force in his body surged into the saber, releasing a shocking amount of power. The golden saber radiance fluctuated violently, showing ripples like fish bones. The star arrow shot toward the tiger soul. There was a terrifying roar. Di Shirtian felt as if a terrifying mountain had suddenly crashed into him. His entire body seemed to have been struck by lightning. All the stars on the arrow exploded, and countless stars instantly pierced into his demon body. Tirtian let out a muffled groan. His black hair danced wildly behind him. His eyes were filled with madness as he roared, "Smash you to death?" To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 6:17. The second update has been delivered. Continue to work on the third update. It's the end of the month. Every ray of starlight was sharper than a needle. The star armor-piercing arrow was blocked by Tiger Soul. With Tiger Soul's body as an Earth-rank demon soldier, it blocked the star arrow, which was mostly consumed by the Heaven's Gate. It did not allow the arrow to pierce through the heart. One had to know that the heart was the most important part of a living creature. Once it was pierced, the consequences would be unimaginable. Moreover, Tirtian's heart contained the demon mansion, which was the foundation of his life. If the demon mansion was damaged, it would cause irreparable damage. It might even affect his future breakthrough to the unparalleled demon god realm. However, at the last moment of the explosion, the starlight also had infinite power. Thousands of rays directly pierced into Tirtian's body. In front of the starlight, thousands of terrifying holes were pierced through the powerful demon body. Golden blood spurted out. Blood splattered everywhere. Would spirit orb? Immortality! Tirtian shouted coldly in his heart. The seven sins demonic zither in his body immediately released wisps of green light. It quickly rushed out of the demon mansion and poured into every inch of his flesh and blood. It wrapped the destructive power of the stars and sent it into the demon refining cauldron. It was refined by the power of the demon refining cauldron. At the same time, the origin power with infinite vitality poured into his body, causing the demon body to quickly heal. His body was filled with a huge amount of vitality. Suddenly, the wounds on his body were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it was completely healed. It was as good as new. However, this also completely ignited the anger in Tirtian's heart. Crash! 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 I'll crash you to death! All of a sudden, the colossus that was the myriad demon city charged straight towards the Abyss Battle Island. In the demon city, the stellar seal tombstone received the power of the stars. Countless pillars of starlight fell from the ancient star space and instantly fell on the ancient city, causing the ancient city to emit infinite starlight. Around the ancient city, stars condensed one after another. It turned into the first divine light, which was the first technique of the demon city, starlight. Surrounding the entire ancient city, this divine light was like a long river formed by countless stars. There were countless stars in it. It was extremely beautiful. Rumble! With boundless fury, Tirtian piloted the ancient city and solidly crashed into the huge abyssal battle island hovering in the void. The terrifying roar silenced the entire demon realm in an instant. It was as if hundreds of millions of tons of explosives had exploded at the same time. When they collided, the shock waves that were produced exploded on the spot. Anything that stood in its way would be crushed into pieces. The Abyss Battle Island was a powerful weapon of the demon god race. It was built with countless precious materials and covered with countless seals. Right now, the 100,000 demon gods on the island were pouring their power into the island, causing it to shake violently. Endless demon chi spewed out, forming an abyss light outside the island. Like a long river, they surrounded the island and gathered together. Countless abyssal demon gods roared crazily inside. A vast amount of magic power appeared. The two incredible treasures collided with each other. First, the light of the abyss and the starlight collided violently. In the light of the abyss, countless demons roared and rushed out, exploding with terrifying power. In the light of the starlight, billions of stars smashed out crazily. The devil and the star collided. Countless devils and stars were annihilated continuously. A destructive storm erupted directly. The surrounding was rendered into a chaotic area, with countless terrifying storms raging. Rumble! Ah! Ah! The demon city was incomparably ferocious. Countless stars from the ancient star space continuously poured in, causing the ancient city to erupt with endless divine light. It collided violently with the abyssal battle island. The ancient city shook violently, letting out a terrifying roar. However, the 4 heavenly gates were still standing tall like mountains, majestic and unmoving. The ferocious collision poured down on the abyssal battle island. Many 8-armed demon gods could not bear the tyrannical power that erupted from the ancient city and let out shrill cries. The entire body of the demon god collapsed, and this collapse was accompanied by the demon god's soul. Thousands of demon gods suddenly fell. Boom, boom, boom. His body exploded into powder. At the same time, Tion also groaned at the same time. A trace of golden blood flowed down from the corner of his mouth. Obviously, the powerful impact of this collision caused considerable damage to his body. Sakra didn't evade at all. His black hair fluttered wildly behind his back, making him look like an ancient demon god. His eyes revealed a dense look of insanity as he coldly snorted, "Eternal divine thunder, blast open this lousy island for this emperor. Quick, 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 prepare the eternal divine thunder and smash it all on the abyssal battle island. Damn it, use the divine thunder to blast them to death for me. Today we will spread the name of the demon city. Smash, smash this battle island into pieces." Within the 100 thunder-gathering towers, roars could be heard. Within each thunder-gathering tower, there were no less than 1,000 demons presiding over it. Now that they heard the order, they were all riled up. Bolts of eternal divine thunder were released rapidly. The entire thunder-gathering tower was filled with dazzling lightning, shuttling back and forth across the surface of the thunder-gathering tower. Rumble! The tower shook, and the eternal divine thunder burst out from the tower, madly smashing toward the abyssal battle island. Every one of them glowed with dazzling lightning. The eternal divine thunder contained the essence of eternity. Once it exploded, within the range of the explosion, one's divine soul would be eroded and fall into a state of eternity. Even if the divine thunder hit the body, one would not feel it. It would directly fall into eternity. Moreover, its power was immense. Seeing the bolts of divine lightning smashing into the layer of light of the abyss, the countless devils inside immediately froze, as if they had seen something inconceivable. They didn't move at all, allowing the divine lightning to hit them. With a loud bang, thousands of lightning bolts enveloped a large number of devils. Countless demon gods were continuously annihilated by the lightning. Thousands of stars also came crashing down. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying sound covered the whole world. "How dare you!" The 10 sky demon glared at the same time and roared. Their 8 arms turned into countless afterimages, and all kinds of demon treasures crazily bombarded the eternal divine thunder and stars. They relied on their tyrannical strength to block most of the stars and divine thunder. But there were still many stars and divine thunder that smashed onto the battle island. Those who were hit by the stars did not even have a corpse left. Those who were hit by the eternal divine thunder collapsed their bodies, and their demon souls turned into countless fragments. Miserable screams sounded on the battle island. Bang! The demon city instantly erupted with boundless divine brilliance, and its whole body was covered in crystal light, bursting with astonishing power. It crashed into the battle island, and the battle island was forcefully thrown back. The surrounding abyssal light shook violently and showed signs of collapsing. Countless demon gods were annihilated in the collision. Rumble! The abyssal battle island violently retreated, and the void behind it was constantly annihilated. A destructive storm broke out and countless earth, fire, water, and wind emerged. Countless demon gods were roaring. Lunatic D, quick, smash this battle island and sink it. Don't let that elf princess on the battle island attack again. I don't know which demon god's child came out randomly. Damn, that's the moon-gazing bow. Legend has it that it's one of the top 100 ancient demon treasures in the demon god continent. It's ranked 33rd. It was a demonic weapon refined by a peerless demonic god of the primordial demonic gods over 100,000 years. And that archery skill, damn, isn't that the supreme archery skill, god-killing meteor arrow? A peerless archery skill, too terrifying. In ancient times, the fairy saintess of the demon god continent held this demon bow and shot down 9 peerless powerhouses. A peerless powerhouse with an indestructible body and immortal soul. She was shot down just like that. From the looks of it, she can only use the first few arrows of the 9 god-killing arrows, but it's already very terrifying. I can't give her a chance. Smash. 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 Smash her to death. Dark roared crazily. He finally recognized the origin of the demon bow in the hands of the fairy princess. He was so shocked that even his dragon scales were about to stand up. Only those who had experienced the desperate battles of ancient times would know the true terror of this magic bow. It was a magic bow that could even shoot down unparalleled powerhouses who were immortal and had an almost endless lifespan. Smash! 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 D. Shirtion had personally experienced the terror of the god-killing arrow. It was just the first arrow, the star armor-piercing arrow. Even the gate of heaven couldn't block it. It also contained a supreme will. It was simply terrifying. How could he not know the current situation? A fierce and overbearing aura emerged in his heart. He couldn't let the princess shoot the second arrow. That archery skill is too terrifying. If you want to kill me, I'll smash you to death first. The Abyss War Island was instantly knocked back tens of thousands of feet away. In the middle of it was the most terrifying chaotic storm, and even the space was constantly distorted. In this regard, D. Shirtion didn't hesitate at all. He controlled the ancient city and smashed it without hesitation. At this moment, D. Shirtion controlled the ancient city like a ferocious demon. Ferocious, overbearing. A ferocious aura pervaded the ancient city. It seemed to emit an incomparably ferocious aura. I'm ferocious, I'm ruthless. Whoever blocks in front of me, I'll smash them to death. Even demon gods were the same. Smash, smash, smash. He created a ferocious name for himself. Boom, boom, boom. The ancient city went completely berserk. It didn't give the demon gods a chance to stabilize the war island and crazily smashed it. Immediately, the light of the abyss shook violently. Countless demons instantly recovered, and the war island once again endured an incomparably terrifying force. On the war island there was a cracking sound and a small crack appeared. This crack on the war island was incomparably terrifying. All demon gods, pour all your power into the war island. I don't believe that I can't destroy this damned city. Rumble, the 10 sky demon landed on the war island at the same time. They each stood on one side and poured their power into the war island. Instantly, with the power of the 10 sky demon, the entire war island burst out with resplendent demon light. The war island, that was shaking violently, suddenly stabilized. Ha ha! Interesting, I didn't expect to see such an interesting little demon in this place. Well, you can block my first arrow, but I don't know if you can block my second arrow. The elf princess smiled faintly. She raised the moon-gazing bow in her hand again. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com and read more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 6:18. Third update. This is not an explosion. It's just to make up for what I owe. The second arrow of the god-slaying aerolite arrow, aerolite destruction arrow. Xiao Chen drew the demonic bow and countless strands of essence gathered at the bowstring. Using a strange method, they quickly condensed into a demonic arrow with a starry light. Inside the arrow, there were still 108 tiny stars that were condensed from it. Countless mysterious demonic seals shuttled back and forth in the arrow and merged with it. It made the entire arrow look like it had materialized. It contained a will of great destruction. Although the armor-piercing arrow and the destruction arrow were only different by one word, they represented two different wills. Similarly, their powers were fundamentally different. Even with the elven princess's cultivation base, she still didn't release the arrow instantly. Instead, pure demonic chi continuously poured into the star arrow from her body. Whoosh! A shrill sound of breaking the air rang out, only to see that the astral arrow once again broke through the air, aiming straight for Indra's heart as it shot out. Wherever it passed, the void was shattered. It rushed into the massive heavenly cycle-stellar array and shattered countless stars. It broke through the 9 heavens and 10 earths god-slaying and demon-slaying seal. It shuttled through layers of thunderclouds. Countless divine thunderbolts wore down the destructive power on the aerolite arrow. However, the aerolite destruction arrow was too overbearing. It was more than 10 times stronger than the first arrow. The supreme will gave it an unstoppable power. It was about to shoot into the southern heaven gate. The southern heaven gate had the power of the immortal stone. The place where the arrow pierced through had automatically healed. Although the heaven gate was powerful, the 5 divine stones were not completely gathered. They could not unleash the heaven gate's supreme power. Otherwise, the aerolite arrow would not have been able to pierce through the heaven gate so easily. Unfortunately, it was just a replica. If it was the real 4 directions heaven gate, even a peerless expert would not be able to move it, let alone the elven princess. The aerolite arrow was about to collapse before it reached the heaven gate. General Bloodkiller, shatter this aerolite arrow for I. D. Shirtian's pupils violently shrank. He controlled the ancient city and crazily rammed into the abyss battle island. The collision between the 2 gigantic objects almost caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. The sun and moon lost their light and the stars shook. Seeing that the elven princess shot another arrow at his heart, the fury in his heart raged again. Humiliation! This was an undisguised humiliation. Yet, the other party had actually aimed it at his heart twice in a row, completely disregarding him. Such disdain instantly provoked him, and the golden blood in his body began to boil violently. Do you really think I'm a sick cat if I don't show my might? Anyone who dares to harm His Majesty will be killed without mercy. The 2 blood-killing generals standing in front of the Heaven's Gate suddenly opened their blood-red eyes. They instantly stared at the star arrow that was shuttling through the air like lightning, emitting a bright murderous aura. One of them revealed a hint of anger in his eyes, and his body shook coldly. Suddenly, the tall body emitted bursts of blood-red light. In the blood-red light, it continued to expand. In the blink of an eye, it had expanded to a height of 10,000 feet. The blood figurine was their body, and the soldier soul was their divine soul. With the combination of the 2, they came to life. The weapon in each blood-killing general's hand was different. This blood-killing general held a blood-red iron hammer in his hand, which looked like a hammer used to forge iron. Simple and unadorned lines appeared on it. He opened his eyes angrily. He waved the war hammer in his hand, and endless killing power was poured into the war hammer. In the war hammer, endless blood-red light flickered. Bang! The aerolite destruction arrow was directly hit by the hammer. Suddenly, the terrifying will contained in the destruction arrow was stimulated. It was the power of great destruction. The bright aerolite arrow suddenly exploded with a loud bang. The terrifying power of great destruction shook the void, causing the surrounding space to shatter all of a sudden. At the same time, the entire aerolite arrow exploded and strangely turned into 108 small aerolite destruction arrows, which changed unpredictably. In an instant, All of them shot at the vital points around the blood-killing general's body. Ding ding ding! The aerolite destruction arrows shot at the blood-killing general's body, but there was no familiar sound of piercing flesh. Instead, there was a strange sound that sounded like iron being forged. How is this possible? The 10 Sky Demon could not help but exclaim in surprise. Their eyes almost popped out, and their faces were filled with disbelief. In front of the Heaven's Gate, 108 shattering arrows pierced into the General of Blood Massacre's body. However, these shattering arrows pierced into the General of Blood Massacre's body. Only the tip of the arrow pierced into the General of Blood Massacre's body. They did not break open the body that was made of upper-grade divine crystal. On the General's body, blood-red light flowed, and endless killing power rolled. Kill! Thousands of blood-red lights burst out, and the General's body shook. The destruction arrows that were pierced into his body were washed away by waves of overbearing killing power, and the destruction arrows were dispersed. All the aerolite arrows instantly collapsed into countless starlight and disappeared. Under the infusion of the killing power, the arrow holes on the general's body began to strangely recover. In the blink of an eye, they were as good as new. After the blood-killing general obtained this overbearing body, he was indeed overbearing to an immeasurable extent. He forcefully withstood the attack of the aerolite god-slaying arrow. This was a supreme archery skill that even the Sky Demon had to avoid, but it did not manage to kill the blood-killing general. That kind of shock was almost indescribable with words. Even the elven princess's calm face suddenly changed. Her body moved, and she stood up from the throne. What kind of living being is this? It actually has such overbearing killing power. What a strong body. Is it a puppet? No, it's not a puppet. It has a body and a divine soul. This is a different kind of terrifying race. The elven princess's eyes shone with a strange light as she muttered to herself. Bang bang bang! Tion was furious. He looked at the elven princess coldly and said coldly, "No matter who you are, I must kill you today. Heaven primary elixir, make I go completely berserk." Buzz buzz buzz. Another 1,000,000 heaven primary elixirs flew out from the imperial treasure vault and poured into the ancient city. They directly entered the Black Lotus avatar that had merged with the ancient city. Suddenly, the Black Lotus burst out with incomparably bright black divine light. The entire ancient city seemed to have a life of its own as it let out a terrifying roar. Rays of divine light shot out from the ancient city. The entire ancient city turned into a crystal divine city. Countless runes appeared in the ancient city, and countless restrictions flickered. It revealed a ferocious aura. 1,000,000 heaven primary elixirs poured into the Black Lotus, causing the entire ancient city to erupt with shocking power. A vast and ancient aura suddenly shrouded the ancient city. At this moment, the ancient city erupted. It actually emitted a supreme aura that was comparable to that of a peerless expert. In the vastness of the aura, countless spatial faults in the surrounding void were annihilated. How terrifying! Heaven primary elixirs. How could they have so many heaven primary elixirs? 1,000,000. They actually sent them into the ancient city for it to devour. Waste. This is simply a waste. A reckless waste of God's gift. A reckless waste of God's gift. With so many heaven primary elixirs, it's enough for an ordinary person to become an emperor-level expert. The heavenly Yuan pill is a supreme elixir that can only be refined by one who has reached the level of an ancient giant or a supremacy. Only then can one absorb the natural Yuan qi and refine it. Even the ancient giants can only condense 100,000 heaven primary elixirs in a year without stopping. Taking out 1,000,000 heaven primary elixirs in one go is something that even the ancient giants would need to spend 10 years to do. This ancient city is terrifying. Look at those materials, they are not of the 5 elements at all. Yet, they are compatible with the power of the 5 elements. I can also feel the power of faith in them. The ancient city can devour heaven and earth Yuan Qi to become stronger, and devour the power of faith to become stronger. My God! Could it be that in this world, apart from the 10 divine artifacts of the 10 immortal sects, another supreme divine artifact will appear? No, this ancient city hasn't matured yet. It can't be compared to the 10 divine artifacts. I'm afraid that if they fight, the ancient city will be destroyed. A supreme divine artifact is something that took a lot of effort to refine. The most terrifying ones are the blood-killing guards and the blood-killing generals. What kind of strong cultivators are they? Each of the blood-killing generals has the strength to surpass the sky demon realm. Even the peerless archery skill, God-killing meteor arrow couldn't kill them. They used their bodies to block the attack. They're too strong. And the blood-killing guards, they're all saints. My God, 100,000 demon saints. Even the 10 immortal sects would not dare to provoke them. For a moment, the eruption of the demon city shook the hearts of the experts. With the support of the heaven primary elixir, the ancient city showed its true potential for the first time. It was almost like an ancient demon god. The existence of the blood-killing generals and blood-killing guards was even more shocking. With 18 heavenly demons as powerful as heavenly demons and 100,000 heavenly demons as powerful as heavenly demons combined, it was enough to form a superforce. Even the 10 immortal sects would not dare to provoke them. The destructive power of that force was too strong. Even if the 10 immortal sects had the strength to suppress it, they would not act rashly. After all, if they fought, they would lose 800 if they killed 3,000 enemies. At the moment when the 100 tribes were about to return, no one would easily damage their strength. The elf princess, who had been calm all this while, felt the vast pressure erupting from the demon city. Her expression finally changed. All of a sudden, his expression became quite solemn. A strong sense of threat flashed in her heart. Activate the restriction immediately and condense the Abyss War demons. The elf princess calmly gave the order. When the 10 sky demon heard it, they looked at each other and suddenly blasted at their respective positions. The ground shook violently, and cracks appeared on the battle island. Rumble! On the cracked ground, 9 pitch-black demonic pillars were emitting endless demonic light. They soared into the sky from the battle island. Those demonic pillars were incomparably thick. Inside them, one could clearly see what was inside. Whose body is sealed in the sky demon pillar? Unexpectedly, it was completely separated. There is also a terrifying aura inside. Each of the 9 demonic pillars had a part of a body sealed in it. Roar! Destruction! Great destruction! Suddenly, the great destruction demonic god, who had been standing tall in the fiendish demon battlefield after swallowing up the entire demonic mountain, suddenly reappeared with his 30-kilometer-tall demonic body. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support legal reading. Chapter 619. My first update has arrived. Brothers, give me your best. I am going all out. Those who have monthly votes, please spend too. Those behind are catching up. The Great Destruction Demon God was the trump card left behind by Shrouding Heaven's Great Emperor. It was a terrifying killing move prepared to prevent anyone from breaking the seal of the 5-fingered demon mountain. After devouring the boundless demonic chi in the 5-fingered demon mountain, the Great Destruction Demon God's body expanded to 100,000 feet in an instant. Flesh and blood grew all over his body, making him look like a real demon god. The originally illusory Great Destruction spear in his hand became lifelike, no longer looking like an illusion. Instead, a terrifying will of destruction gathered in the spear. The space around the spear could not withstand it at all. Naturally, the suppression of the will caused the space around the spear to shatter again and again, repeating the scene of destruction. The terrifying demonic aura was comparable to that of a peerless expert. Roar! The great destruction demon god raised his head to the sky, and the light of destruction flickered in his eyes. He stared at the huge body of the thousand demon city and suddenly let out a demonic roar. As soon as the demonic roar sounded, a terrifying wave of air swept out in all directions with the great destruction demon god as the center. Bang! 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 Wherever the chi wave passed, the ground shook violently. Countless cracks spread out in all directions like a spiderweb. It was like shattered glass, presenting a terrifying scene. After the cracks appeared, the ground began to collapse. The mountains suddenly turned into dust, and the grass and trees instantly withered. Except for the position where the great destruction demon god stood. The rest of the world, at a speed visible to the naked eye, they were being destroyed crazily. It was a terrifying scene of the great apocalypse collapsing the world. Large areas of the fiendish demon battlefield collapsed. The collapse turned into a terrifying abyss. The entire battlefield completely collapsed in the blink of an eye. Peerless demon god. The great destruction demon god was devouring the boundless demonic chi. In a short time, his combat strength had increased to that of a demon god great emperor, which was the realm of a peerless expert. Although he could not last long, he could erupt with incredible destructive power at this moment. The strength of his ferocious aura instantly swept across the entire world. The world could not help but tremble violently. Great destruction! The great destruction demon god roared and instantly raised the great destruction spear in his hand. His 100,000 feet demon body between heaven and earth. With a wave of his hand, the spear blasted toward the thousand demon city. Boom boom boom! The battle spear shot out from below, and before it even touched the ancient city, 10 subterranean worlds appeared beneath it. Within each of these subterranean worlds, boundless lightning was being nurtured, exploding, shuttling back and forth, unleashing terrifying power. Anyone who wanted to attack the ancient city from below would have to suffer the bombardment of endless lightning. However, at this moment, the great annihilation battle spear truly burst forth with the most terrifying destructive power. Within the battle spear, the will of the great annihilation battle spear roared as pitch-black demonic runes appeared unceasingly. It directly pierced into the tenfold underground world. Boom! 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 As the spear pierced through, the countless lightning bolts were like stray cats that had caught the scent of blood. The overwhelming force smashed towards the battle spear. Cataclysm! Inside the battle spear, a supreme intent roared. Immediately, all the lightning collapsed before it could hit the battle spear. It was unimpeded all the way, piercing through layers of subterranean worlds. It pierced through 7 layers in succession. At the 8th layer, the power of the countless lightning bolts was even stronger. Finally, they smashed onto the battle spear, erupting with terrifying destructive power, wanting to shatter the battle spear. However, the battle spear shook violently, directly shattering all the lightning bolt. With the momentum of destroying everything, it blasted open all the restrictions. With a loud bang, it blasted onto the true body of the ancient city. Rumble! This spear could even pierce through heaven and earth. It was mixed with the killing blow of a peerless demonic god, blasting onto the ancient city. The ancient city, which was completely made of divine crystals, immediately burst out with endless crystal light, blocking the battle spear. The ancient city was completely berserk. It swallowed 1,000,000 heaven essence pills, turned them into a sea of innate vitality, and poured into the ancient city. Its power could faintly contend with a peerless powerhouse. When it collided with the great annihilation battle spear, a destructive storm erupted on the spot. Between the ancient city and the battle spear, the entire void was destroyed and turned into chaos. Countless earth, fire, water, and wind swept wildly in the surroundings. It was like the end of the world. Boom! Caught off guard, the demon city was directly blasted into the sky by the spear. The space shook and the void collapsed. Countless spatial faults were destroyed. A spatial storm spewed out. It was blasted thousands of feet away. However, the great destruction demonic god did not have it easy either. The ancient city erupted, and its aura was so strong that it was comparable to a peerless powerhouse. The power emitted from the ancient city caused the great destruction battle spear to crumble inch by inch. The ground where the great destruction demonic god stood collapsed on the spot. It was completely annihilated. Berserk, berserk, completely berserk. Great destruction demonic god, you're just a mere incarnation. How dare you try to stop me? You're courting death. Today I'll suppress you first. Shirtian's black hair danced wildly behind him. He glanced coldly at the great destruction demonic god below. The sudden attack had completely ignited the anger in his heart. Since you're courting death, I'll suppress you first and blast you to pieces. You're just a mere incarnation that doesn't even have a physical body. Today I'll smash you to pieces first. Rumble! The stellar demon seal tablet drew in endless star power from the ancient star space and poured it into the ancient city. It stimulated the ancient city's endless potential and turned into a crystal divine city. Countless talismans flickered crazily. A vast ancient aura leaked out from the ancient city. With a loud bang, it fiercely slammed into the great destruction demonic god below. Bang! The ancient city slammed into the great destruction demonic god's body. However, it was the great destruction demonic god's terrifying fist that collided. Countless stars bombarded this fist, and the eternal divine thunder roared and smashed down. It was pure power. Almost instantly, the arm in front of the ancient city was shattered, devouring the five-fingered demonic mountain in exchange for the power of a single blow. In that case, I'll smash you to pieces today. Crash, 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 and kill you. Shirtian's heart turned cold. He realized that the great destruction demonic god could only unleash a supreme power that was comparable to an unparalleled expert's attack. After that, its power dropped instantly. This was a sure kill attack that used the vast amount of demonic chi in the five-fingered demonic mountain. Unfortunately, the thousand-demon city was incomparably ferocious. After devouring millions of heaven primary pills, it went completely berserk. It was enough to block the attack of an unparalleled expert. After failing to destroy the thousand-demon city with one blow, it was Shirtian's turn to show his prowess. Bang! I'll smash you to death. I'll suppress you to death. Sky-shrouding Great Emperor, this time I'll smash your incarnation first. Bang! In the future I'll smash you too. Even if you're the great emperor of the demonic god race, you'll have to pay 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times the price for suppressing me. I'm the emperor, and I won't be humiliated. Whoever humiliates me will die. Bang! Boom! 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 The thousand-demon city slammed into the great destruction demonic god's head from high up in the sky. On the spot, the great destruction demonic god's head crumbled inch by inch. With a loud bang, the great destruction demonic god's body was smashed into pieces by Shirtian's ancient city. Demonic chi swept out in all directions. In an instant, the surrounding 10,000 miles turned into a pitch-black demonic domain. Even though Great Emperor Shrouding Great Emperor had unparalleled demonic arts, he didn't expect Shirtian to be able to create such a peerless divine city like the Thousand-Demon City. He even obtained the heavenly primary elixir and evolved an enormous amount of connate essence chi, causing the ancient city to go berserk and erupt with supreme power comparable to a peerless expert. Not only did Shirtian block his final attack, he thought that even if Shirtian was lucky enough to escape the seal, he wouldn't be able to withstand the great destruction demonic god's destructive attack. He didn't expect Shirtian to be so fierce. Not only did he break out of the seal, but he also crushed the great destruction demonic god. His ferocious aura was terrifying to the extreme. Buzz, buzz. The ancient city hung in the void. After crushing the great destruction demonic god, it was shrouded in a layer of boundless ferocious aura. It was like an ancient beast, ferocious and domineering, dominating the world. Deshertian's gaze swept across the Abyss Battle Island. On the Abyssal Battle Island, each of the 9 sky-reaching demonic pillars had a section of a demonic body sealed within them. There was a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and 4 pairs of pitch-black demonic wings. After the sky demon pillars appeared, countless demonic runes quickly appeared. In the blink of an eye, the pillars collapsed, forming hundreds of millions of talismans that quickly entered the severed body parts. Roar. A faint roar could be heard from the severed body parts. After the talismans entered the severed body parts, an endless amount of demonic aura rushed madly into the severed body parts. In an instant, each of the severed body parts exploded with vigorous vitality. The war demon of the abyss, the fallen demonic god. Follow my orders, awaken once more and destroy the ancient city for me. I will use all living beings in the demon realm as sacrifices. The elven princess looked at the severed body parts of the demon god, and said with a solemn expression. Suddenly, a supreme will emerged from the 9 broken parts of the body. It flew up into the sky and quickly gathered in the air. With a huge amount of demonic chi, it condensed into a giant demonic god that was 80,000 feet tall. The 4 pairs of demonic wings on the demonic god's back glowed with demonic brilliance. The pitch-black feathers were like sharp arrows. Endless demonic aura gathered toward the demonic wings on its back. Vaguely, it was as if a peerless demon god was awakening. An incomparably terrifying aura spread invisibly across the entire demon realm. Ha 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 ha! Just as the terrifying fallen demon god was about to awaken, suddenly, a wild laughter came from outside the realm. The laughter was filled with endless excitement. I didn't expect that I would have such luck. As soon as I arrived, I encountered the body of a fallen demon god. The fallen demon gods in the endless abyss are all upper-level demon gods. I can't believe such a good thing happened to me. TSK, it's a good furnace with only a remnant will but no demonic soul. It's like the heavens are looking out for me. Since that's the case, it would be impolite of me to refuse. With this demonic body, my recovery will be just around the corner. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 620. A burst of ecstatic laughter spread from the outer realm to the demon realm. At the same time, a sea of blood light rushed over like a tide. In the blink of an eye, it formed a sea of blood and rushed into the demon realm. Splash! The monstrous sea of blood instantly enveloped tens of thousands of miles of the void, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. Countless streams of blood roared, tumbled, and surged, wave after wave. It was as if one was watching the waves on the shore. The shocking color of blood covered everyone's eyes. This was a blood tide, a blood wave, and a blood sea. Above the blood sea, a wicked young man in a blood-red robe smiled wickedly. His eyes were excitedly looking at the fallen demon god's body on the Abyss Battle Island. Without hesitation, he controlled the blood sea and rushed down to the Abyss Battle Island. How dare you! Those who dare to offend the princess will be killed. When the 10 heavenly demons saw the blood sea pouring down, their faces changed. They raised the star heavenly demon blades in their hands and slashed at the blood sea, creating countless terrifying afterimages. They wanted to cut the blood sea into pieces. The 10 saber lights were like 10 terrifying pillars of light that reached the heavens, chopping down with overwhelming auras. Rumble! The battle strength of the sky demon was almost immeasurable. The demon weapon in his hand was even more powerful. Almost in an instant, the blood sea was cut into countless pieces. TSK, you're just a few inferior demon gods. How dare you attack me? If it was in the ancient times, I would have made you beg for death. Today, I'm in a good mood, so I won't argue with you. You'll suffer in the future. Little elf, I'll take this demon god's body for you. That sea of blood seemed to have its own life. It was cut into countless pieces, but it wasn't completely destroyed. Instead, it continued to move forward. Strangely, the restrictions on the Abyssal Battle Island didn't stop it at all. It easily passed through the Abyssal Battle Island. Along the way, it gathered in groups of 3 to 5. It was restored to a monstrous blood sea. It whizzed down and pounced on the demon god's body. Boom, boom, boom. Immediately, the fallen demon god that was emitting unparalleled demonic might was easily covered by the sea of blood. He was swept into the sea of blood and disappeared in the blink of an eye. He could no longer see the huge body of the demon god. Congratulations to Senior Blood God for your rebirth. The Saintess asked this junior to greet Senior. I'm giving you a demon god's body to help you recover as soon as possible and suppress the heavens. When the elven princess saw the appearance of the blood sea, not only was she not enraged, she instead stood up with a respectful expression and bowed slightly to the blood sea. It was as if they had long known that he would come. TSK, looks like my blood star on the demon god continent has lit up. Blood god Shweini chuckled and said from within the sea of blood. Senior, the moment your natal blood star lit up, the entire continent knew that you had returned. The Saintess knew that Senior had yet to fully recover, so she specially ordered this junior to bring a fallen devil god corpse. Since Senior has already accepted it, this junior's mission this time has already been completed. They were about to return to the fiend celestial continent. Senior, do you have any words for this junior? The elven princess did not look down on the person in the blood sea at all. Her expression was as respectful and courteous as usual. After hearing this, blood god Shweini pondered for a moment and said, Go back and tell your Saintess that before the annihilation tide, don't casually step into the origin. Back then, those old guys in the origin world are still alive and will crawl out from the ground. Don't let your guard down. We'll meet again in the future. Little elf, if you don't leave now, you'll die. After saying this, Shweini did not hesitate at all. He swept up the demon god's body and was about to leave. The owner of this demon god's body was a peerless powerhouse back then. He wanted to find a place to refine it and devour the demon god's flesh. With the power of the Blood God Sutra, he would be able to recover most of his ancient powers after devouring the demon god's body. It would be difficult to find a worthy opponent in the world. If you want to leave, you'll have to ask for Ai's permission first. Tiger soul, cut off your blood sea. Indra looked coldly at the sea of blood in front of him. The demon god on the Abyssal War Island was sucked into the sea of blood. Looking at the situation, it was obvious that the master of the Sea of Blood had an unusual relationship with the demon god continent. Seeing that the blood sea was about to leave the demon god realm, how could he agree so easily? Clang! The tiger soul shook in an instant and turned into a 10,000 zhang long battle blade. The golden blade exuded an unparalleled tyrannical aura. The blade was incomparably dazzling. The tiger soul swept across the sky and slashed towards the blood sea. Crack! The tiger soul's edge was limitless. After reaching the earth rank, the tiger soul completely displayed its edge. It was almost invincible and easily destroyed. The blade cut off the blood sea. Even if your blood sea is overflowing, I will devour your blood sea today. Shurtian turned his wrist. The blade light was like a drill and instantly swept up the blood in the blood sea. A strong devouring force was emitted from the blade. On the blade, a huge black tiger roared and appeared. It opened its bloody mouth and sucked towards the blood sea. The blood turned into a blood pillar and surged into its stomach. The tiger soul had the powerful ability to devour flesh and blood. The blood sea in front of it was its food. You can actually devour my blood sea. Interesting, but I don't have time to play with you this time. I'm leaving. A cry of surprise sounded from the sea of blood. However, it was not overly afraid. It seemed that it was only interested in Tiger Soul's ability, and was not overly fearful. That was because the sea of blood suddenly and strangely turned illusory. It passed through. The blood sea could actually reverse between illusion and reality. At the same time, the tiger soul could no longer devour the blood sea. The blood sea passed through it. It directly escaped into the void. Go back to the demon god continent. Seeing the blood sea leave, the elven princess showed a relaxed expression at the corner of her mouth, as if her goal had been achieved. She called out to the other 10 sky demon and was about to leave the demon god realm without hesitation. You want to leave? Not so easy. Eternal divine thunder, thousands of stars, throw I over. Tion saw that the elven princess was about to leave, and the anger in his mind completely exploded. You come and go as you please. Do you really think this is your home? You don't take us seriously at all. You want to leave? Sure. Let me smash you to death first. Tion's eyes narrowed into a line, and a sharp cold light shot out from his eyes. He activated the demon city. Boom, boom, boom. The ancient city shook violently. In the city, hundreds of thunder-gathering towers emitted strong lightning at the same time. Countless eternal divine thunder smashed towards the Abyss Battle Island like an avalanche. At the same time, thousands of stars, mixed with the endless light of stars, fell beautifully. They pulled out streaks of gorgeous colors. Princess. The 10 sky demon were all furious. The way they saw it, their decision to leave and not bicker with the demon race was a huge favor. Not only did he not know how to be grateful, but he also dared to provoke them. He was simply courting death. The demon god clan was originally warlike. Facing such a situation, they all roared on the spot. Smash him to death! Without any superfluous words, the 10 sky demon poured all their power into the Abyss Battle Island, turned around, and crazily smashed towards the demon city. With the demon god's natural hostility and ferociousness, the 2 colossal objects, each with supreme ferocity, roared and crashed into each other. Bang! A terrifying sound filled the entire demon realm. Whether it was the Abyss Battle Island or the demon city, they were the most terrifying treasures in the world. Especially the ancient city, which was in a frenzy, its ferocity was not inferior to that of a peerless expert. However, the collision directly broke out a destructive storm. In the void, thousands of thunderbolts roared. At the location of the collision, a huge and terrifying black hole appeared in the void. The void collapsed, and the black hole almost swallowed everything in the world. Even the Abyss Battle Island and the Demon City were about to be swallowed, rolled into the black hole, and completely crushed into powder. The 2 colossal objects also retreated at the same time. They discharged the terrifying power. Crack! With a crisp sound, another terrifying crack appeared on the Abyss Battle Island. Obviously, it could not bear the terrible impact just now. The huge power caused the island to crack. The construction material of the Abyss Battle Island was finally inferior to the divine crystal. Again. Tion controlled the ancient city, shook off the devouring power of the black hole, burst out endless divine light, mixed with vast ferocious power, and violently crashed into the Abyss Battle Island again. I'm strong, I'm tyrannical. Today, I'm going to smash you down. Smash, smash, smash into powder. Bang! The ancient city and the Abyss Battle Island crazily collided again and again, emitting endless demonic brilliance and divine light. The collision caused the void to collapse and the earth to crack. The collision caused the sun and moon to lose their light. For a moment, the entire void was broken, and there were thousands of holes in it. With a boom, the barrier of the underground world was broken, and it rushed to the surface. Boom! Boom! Countless demons were roaring, and thousands of divine lightning struck down. It almost collapsed countless voids. Everywhere it went, there was a doomsday scene. The mountains collapsed, and the sky was broken. Countless creatures were destroyed on the spot. I'm going to destroy your broken city. The 10 sky demon roared, and their anger overflowed. The abyss battle island under them was almost covered with countless cracks. It looked ferocious and terrifying, as if it would be completely destroyed at any time, instantly turning into countless pieces. The abyss battle island could not withstand the ancient city's fierce and domineering collision. On the abyss battle island, countless demon gods' bodies collapsed and died. The abyss battle island could not compete with the ancient city. It angered the 10 sky demon on the spot. Each of them waved their demonic blades, and terrifying blades tens of thousands of feet long condensed in the void. As if splitting the sky and earth, they directly slashed at the demon city. 10 terrifying blade lights slashed at the ancient city. Rumble! The ancient city's massive heavenly cycle-stellar array and divine restriction released an unparalleled power, blocking the terrifying blade light. Smash you! The divine light in Di Shirtian's eyes flickered, and with unparalleled ferocity, he domineeringly crashed into the abyss battle island again. Rumble! Shrill screams, accompanied by terrifying shattering sounds, resounded through the sky. The abyss battle island, which was hundreds of thousands of feet long, collapsed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Rumble! At the same time, a vast pressure came from the void, as if an ancient god had descended. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 621. The third update has been delivered. The third update is over. I'm doing my best, and I hope my brothers will do their best too. Monthly votes are in short supply, the ones behind are catching up. Fierce, as expected of the fierce demon who dared to seize treasures in the 1,000 treasures Crimson Tide back then. Such a collision, barbaric, it's really barbaric. It's too damn barbaric, too exciting. What a domineering aura, it's even more domineering than an emperor. I really don't know what this ancient city is made of. The city body is too sturdy. It's also integrated with the membrane of heaven and earth, a domineering divine restriction. The power of the stars is added to it. Just the city body alone, I don't know how many heavenly materials and earthly treasures were used. If you want to forge it, you'll need several treasure mountains to fill it. This 10,000 demon city is really fierce. Even the abyss battle island was destroyed. Even the unparalleled demon god was suppressed. It was destroyed. It's too terrifying. It's too fierce. To be able to create such an unparalleled fierce city, he's definitely a hero. I'm afraid that with this city as a foundation, the demon clan will have the opportunity to rise, and the source continent will become even more chaotic in the future. The 100 races have returned, and the demon clan has 100 feet, dying but not reigning in. This time, monstrous chaos is unavoidable. Look, that's the aura of the 10 great divine artifacts. Di Shirtian controlled the demon city, completely turning into a mad demon, and crashed into the battle island again and again, forcibly shattering the entire battle island. It was almost terrifying to the extreme. This scene, in the eyes of the experts, was simply the most terrifying scene in the world. That fierce aura almost frightened their souls. That boundless domineering aura. Unparalleled fierce aura. It's breathtaking. One by one, the spies thought that this ancient city would most likely be the most ferocious ancient city in the world. Not only was it tyrannical and hard, but it also had boundless offensive power. In front of this ancient city, even the ancient giants would be suppressed. It was really too fierce. He vaguely compared the 1,000 demon city to the 10 great divine artifacts of the world. However, when Indra smashed the island into pieces, his domineering power directly caused the bodies of the 100,000 eight-armed demon gods on the island to explode on the spot. Just as he was about to take advantage of the victory to pursue and kill the 10 heavenly demons and the elf princess, a vast divine power spread out in the void like a tide, suppressing this turbulent void. The demon gods deserved to be killed, and so did the Yao. Don't think that just by creating a broken city, you can reverse the fate of your Yao race. Today, I will completely destroy your broken city. I'll let you see how powerful the 10 supreme artifacts are in this world. How dare a grain of rice emit light? 10,000 green lotus swords, green lotus sword chi, cut the void. Amidst the boundless divine light, a gigantic green lotus that was hundreds of thousands of feet long appeared in the void. Countless streaks of sword chi flashed continuously on the green lotus's surface, forming layers upon layers of lifelike petals. As the green lotus spun, the petals were constantly vanishing. It devoured the surrounding yuan chi. Countless streaks of sword chi were born. 10,000 green lotus swords. One of the 10 great supreme divine artifacts, the 10,000 green lotus swords had arrived. My goodness, this is the 10,000 green lotus swords of the 10 great supreme divine artifacts. I didn't expect it to intervene at this time. It's like the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. It wants to sweep the battlefield and plunder the spoils of war. The flesh and blood of the demon gods can be used to refine elixirs, and the demonic treasures are even more powerful. The fragments of the Abyss Battle Island were all made of abyss cold iron. It's a huge fortune to get it, especially the moon-gazing constellation bow in the elven princess's hand. It's one of the ancient demonic treasures of the demon god continent. Its power is almost immeasurable. If we can suppress the 1,000 demon city as well, the fortune we'll make will be extraordinary. This is going to be a good show. Although the ancient city is arrogant, it's still a far cry from the 10 great supreme divine artifacts that suppress the heavens. Let's see which of these 2 supreme treasures is more powerful. The appearance of the 10,000 green lotus swords shocked countless experts on the spot. At the same time, it also aroused a kind of excitement. They wanted to see which of the 10 great supreme divine artifacts collided with the ancient city, or the strongest divine city designed by Tianjizi. They wanted to see which one was more powerful, and which one would win. None of them dared to blink their eyes, fearing that they would miss the most essential scene. Whoosh! The 10,000 green lotus swords spun round and round. On the lotus, countless lotus flowers formed by the green lotus sword chi bloomed, like the purest and most beautiful immortal flower between heaven and earth. Countless petals fell and drifted down. They quickly scattered in all directions like snowflakes. Those gorgeous and magical petals were like dancing fairies. In the blink of an eye, they filled the entire sky. They covered the sky and the earth. They swept directly towards the 1,000 demon city. Every petal was so perfect and holy. No one had the heart to blaspheme it. The cosmic stars formation draws the power of the stars. The 9 heavens 10 earths God slaying demon slaying seal. Protect the ancient city. Eternal divine thunder, smash eye to the green lotus swords. 1,000 demon city, smash through. The moment Di Shurtian saw the 10,000 green lotus swords, he already understood that the intervention of the 10 great supreme divine sects must be to attack him, and even to plunder the previous fruits of victory. To think that he could ignore the remaining demon gods for the time being and directly attack him. He was simply selfish to the extreme. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind? Since I dared to show my trump card, I am not afraid of you, oriole. Today, even if I am not a match for you, I will give the 10 great supreme divine sects a painful deterrence. I will let you know that the human race is not the only overlord in heaven and earth. Di Shurtian's heart was as cold as ice. He had already predicted that such a situation would happen. Although the 10 great supreme divine weapons suppressed the heavens and deterred thousands of worlds, the 1,000 demon city was made of divine crystals. Under the embryonic membrane of heaven and earth, it was perfectly integrated and incomparably tough. Although there were no connate spirit treasures and all of them were fakes and their power was immeasurably weakened, he was not afraid of them. Crazy D, the 1,000 demon city, has just been completed and needs a large amount of incense and power of will to inject into the city to refine and improve the quality of the divine crystals and strengthen the ancient city. Now that there are no connate spirit treasures, colliding with those supreme divine weapons is like a rock colliding with a piece of iron. Do not fight head-on. Leave the demon realm immediately. With the power of the 1,000-demon city, it is enough to open the passage, break the seal, and leave through the void. After leaving the demon realm, you will be able to fly freely in the vast sky and swim freely in the vast water. Back in the Million Treasures Red Tide, the 10 great divine weapons were suppressed by the heaven-grade soldier soul. They didn't even have the chance to show their strongest side. If they unleash their full power now, they will be 10 times, no, 100 times more terrifying than before. It could clearly feel the terrifying power contained within the 1,000 green lotus of swords. Within the green lotus of swords, there were also countless spatial rifts. There were a large number of living beings within, and all of them were sword cultivators. They believed in the sword and poured this massive amount of power of faith into the green lotus of swords, increasing its power. After countless years, it had reached the most terrifying state. If it were to erupt, it could easily annihilate a world. Humph! We can't retreat. If we can't erupt with a power that even the 10 great supreme divine sects are wary of, I'm afraid it won't be long before we're eaten alive. Tirtian did not listen to Dark's suggestion. Instead, he retorted without hesitation, "Fight, we must fight, and we must make them feel pain. We must let the myriad worlds know that I, Tirtian, am not a pushover. If anyone dares to touch me, I will smash them to death. They must be prepared to be bitten off a piece of flesh. If he is ruthless, I must be more ruthless than him. If he is strong, I must be stronger than him. If I can't be stronger than him, I must be crazy. The strong are afraid of the stupid, and the stupid are afraid of the reckless. Today, I am going to risk my life." Tirtian roared madly in his mind. In his previous life as a human, he had already deeply understood countless principles. There were times when one could not retreat. One step back meant one step back. As a reborn human, one must be domineering. Rumble! Tirtian completely activated the ancient city. Large amounts of eternal divine thunder were thrown out continuously, smashing into the petals that filled the sky. Terrifying explosions sounded one after another. The eternal divine thunder was a powerful attack nurtured by the eternal kingdom, the number 1 supreme divine weapon in the world. The power that erupted destroyed countless petals on the spot. Those petals contained a shocking amount of green lotus sword chi, which could destroy everything. However, in the face of the eternal divine thunder, the petals continued to collapse. More stars came crashing down, and the demon city came crashing down. That ferocious and barbaric aura dyed the sky red in an instant. It was as if an ancient ferocious beast was roaring. Bang! The demon city collided firmly with the 1,000-sword green lotus. Suddenly, the infinite sword chi of the green lotus condensed into countless petals that cut towards the ancient city. The sword chi was terrifyingly sharp and condensed. Wherever it passed, the void was cut open inch by inch. It fell into the grand matrix of the heavenly cycle of stars, crushing countless stars in the matrix into dust. The 365 main stars also collapsed on the spot, and they had to return to the starry demon sealing tablet. The small star space collapsed on the spot and disappeared. The first layer of defense of the demon city was completely broken. In front of the green lotus sword chi, it was as weak as tofu. Rumble! Countless petals rushed into the divine restriction and were hit by countless divine thunder. Under the divine thunder, a large number of petals were destroyed. However, there were more petals that passed through the restriction and hit the ancient city. The eternal light was immortal and indestructible. The sealing light was able to restrict all attack. Endless divine light bloomed from the 4 heavenly gates, forming 4 invisible and illusory walls around the ancient city. The power of the 2 divine stones completely exploded. Countless petals bombarded the heavenly gates, and the sharp green lotus sword chi cut countless scars on the heavenly gates. However, the power of the eternal stone was unleashed, and the damaged areas were quickly healed. The green lotus sword chi landed on the divine crystal and cut deep sword scars on the divine crystal. The power of a supreme divine weapon that was unleashed without any hesitation was immeasurable. It caused damage to the demon city that even the elven princess could not do. Whoever wants to kill me, I'll smash you to death first. Before I die, I'll bite off a piece of meat. Smash. 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 Tion let out a domineering roar. The ancient city crashed into the 1,000 green lotus sword. To be continued. If you want to know what happens next, please go to www.chidian.com and read more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 623. Bang! The myriad sword teal lotus seemed to be connected to heaven and earth. As it rotated, hundreds of millions of teal lotus sword chi slammed into the demon city. The demon city was blasted hundreds of thousands of feet away, and countless terrifying cracks appeared on the city. Many divine crystals were crushed. The entire ancient city shook violently. You want to compete with our supreme artifact with a broken city? A supreme artifact is supreme. How can a broken city that you simply built compare to it? There are only 10 supreme artifacts in the world. There will never be an 11th one. A disdainful voice came from the myriad sword teal lotus. The myriad sword teal lotus, which had displayed the true power of a supreme artifact, was almost unshakable. Facing the fierce attack of the demon city, it was not only unmoved but also blasted hundreds of thousands of feet away. This mighty force was enough to shake heaven and earth. Blood Killguards, return to the demon city. Destroy the divine eye of annihilation and destroy the teal lotus. Sakra's eyes were still as calm and clear as before. Although he was crazy in his heart, he wasn't brainless. The battle with the myriad sword green lotus was imperative. Even if he couldn't win, he had to display his peerless demeanor. Boom! Boom! Under the leadership of 10 blood kill generals, the 100,000 blood kill guards collected the scattered demon god's flesh and quickly returned to the demon city. They formed a battle formation in front of the southern heaven gate. Whoosh! 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 On each of their foreheads, there was a bloody vertical scar. At this moment, the bloody scars on the foreheads of the 100,000 blood kill guards opened at the same time. In an instant, numerous blood-red eyes appeared between their brows. Those blood-red eyes seemed to be condensed from the purest slaughter energy. They contained a terrifying aura that could annihilate and collapse everything. Whoosh! Whoosh! Annihilation Divine Eye. Since Tion had planted the lifetime slave seal on them, the 100,000 blood kill guards had also inherited the divine power of the annihilation eye of heaven's punishment divine eye. This divine power had infinite destructive power. Once it was used, it could annihilate everything and cause heaven and earth to collapse. It was completely reduced to dust. In Tion's hands, this could be said to be his trump card. If the blood-killing guards, who only knew how to kill, inherited it, they would be like tigers that had grown wings. With the power of slaughter, their might would be even more tyrannical and terrifying. It had an even more tyrannical lethality. Each of the 100,000 blood kill guards was comparable to a demon saint. It was equivalent to 100,000 beast saints using one peerless divine power at the same time. Its power was unimaginable. Together with the 10 blood slaughterers, they were experts comparable to heaven demons. When it was used, it would be 10 times or even 100 times stronger. What? In the green lotus there was a cry of horror. Hundreds of thousands of beams of blood-red divine light of annihilation blasted onto the gigantic green lotus at the same time. Around the green lotus, countless green lotus sword chi burst out in an instant, enveloping the green lotus in layers of lotuses. However, when they collided with the divine light of annihilation, a terrifying scene erupted on the spot. Countless green lotus sword chi were rapidly annihilated by the blood-red divine light of annihilation. It pierced through countless layers of defense. It slammed heavily into the green lotus body. Rumble! Hundreds of thousands of beams of divine light of annihilation struck the myriad green lotus. In almost an instant, endless divine light burst forth. Thousands of beams of blood-colored light and green light intertwined, covering the entire sky. The power contained in the divine light of annihilation was something that even the myriad green lotus, a paragon artifact, could not withstand. The power was simply too terrifying. It was enough to annihilate a world in an instant. Space shook and the heavens and earth trembled. The area within tens of thousands of miles instantly collapsed and turned into the most terrifying chaotic space. It was filled with thousands of berserk turbulence and distorted space. The enormous myriad sword green lotus was actually sent tumbling backwards violently on the spot. It shattered countless voids. Countless angry roars came from the green lotus. Hundreds of thousands of blood kill guards attacked together. Under the divine light of annihilation, even a paragon artifact would be blasted thousands of miles away. Good. You've shown your power. Madman D, hurry up and leave. Otherwise, there will be great danger later. Ming shouted crazily in D. Shirtian's mind. He urged D. Shirtian to leave quickly. Humph, this time, even if the myriad green lotus is a paragon artifact, it will still be damaged after being hit by hundreds of thousands of beams of divine light of annihilation. I've already shown my power. It's time to leave. However, there's a seal outside the demon realm. No living creature or object with demon chi can escape. I must blast a passage out. Sakura originally didn't have the intention to fight with the 10 supreme divine weapons to the end. He only wanted to give a kind of deterrence to the myriad of worlds, a kind of invisible deterrence, to tell the heavens that they shouldn't force him into a corner. Otherwise, even if they died, they would be able to bite off a few pieces of flesh from their bodies. Whoever wants to scheme against me, first think about the possible consequences. The explosion of the blood kill guards directly blasted the myriad green lotus away. This scene was enough to deter those who were secretly spying on them. His goal had been achieved. It was time to withdraw. Boundless power of the demon city, gather in my body and help I open a passage. Divine eye of punishment, divine light of annihilation. D. Shirtian was a decisive person. Once he achieved his goal, he immediately seized the opportunity to retreat. With a shout, the demon city under his feet shook violently. A huge amount of power suddenly poured into the demon body and quickly rushed into the divine eye of punishment. Swoosh! The divine eye of punishment opened instantly. A purple beam of divine light of annihilation shot out directly from the divine eye. Vast majesty poured out like a tide and filled the entire sky. The divine light blasted straight ahead. This time, he wanted to completely blast a hole in the seal of the demon realm. With the help of the previous fierce battle, the demon realm's crystal barrier shook violently. It was a great opportunity to shake the seal of the demon realm and blast open a passage in one fell swoop. He took the opportunity to leave the demon realm. The bright divine light, like a heavenly pillar, blasted into the void. Eternity, under eternity, all things are immortal, and the light is the same as the dust. Enter my kingdom, and you can obtain the true meaning of eternity. Just as the divine light of annihilation was about to hit the void, an ancient prayer came from the void. It permeated the air and thousands of rays of divine light fell from the sky. Countless divine light reflected on each other. Thousands of fairies flew into the sky and billions of heavenly flowers fell. Stars shook and endless prayers were recited. An eternal aura spread out in all directions. A godlike, eternal kingdom descended from the void and blasted the divine light of annihilation. Circles of eternal light dispersed the divine light of annihilation. Moreover, the eternal kingdom smashed directly into the demon city. Rumble! Almost on the spot, the 1,000-demon city was hit by an unparalleled force. With a loud bang, it smashed into the ground, creating a huge crater. The ancient city shook violently as if it was going to collapse completely. Without any scruples, the eternal kingdom was extremely powerful. It's the eternal kingdom. Ming's expression changed drastically, becoming extremely ugly. The country of eternity was the strongest of the 10 great divine weapons. Its strength had reached an unbelievable level. At this moment, the demon city, which had just been built, was smashed into the ground without any resistance. Even the entire city was on the verge of collapsing. Oh no, I'm afraid we're in great danger this time. The eternal light of the eternal kingdom can freeze the void and stop time and space from flowing in the divine light. The current demon city is no match for it at all. Underworld shouted loudly. Deschertien's eyes flashed wildly. The blood in his body was boiling. The collision just now made his organs feel like they were on fire. Blood rushed into his throat and was about to spurt out. However, he forcefully suppressed it. Rumble! The kingdom of eternity was like the kingdom of God. 9 beams of eternal light surrounded it, and countless prayers could be heard. Suddenly, thousands of divine lightning bolts struck the ancient city, covering the sky and covering the earth like a downpour. A terrifying aura instantly swept through the ancient city. At this moment, an aura of death shrouded every demon in the ancient city. They looked at the divine lightning that was as huge as rain in horror. It was the eternal divine lightning. The eternal divine lightning was extremely powerful and ferocious. If it was hit by such a huge divine lightning, even the ancient city made of divine crystals would be smashed into pieces. Broken into pieces. Oh no, hurry up and support the massive heavenly cycle star formation. Let the blood-killing guards block it. Otherwise, if it smashes into the ancient city will crumble. Underworld shouted. Blood-killing guards, listen up. Block the divine lightning for I. The blood-killing guards attacked one after another. Rays of annihilation divine light shot out from their divine eyes. They swept toward the divine lightning and collided with it, causing the void to shake. However, the divine lightning was like rain. No matter how strong the blood-killing guards were, they could not block it completely. Still, huge divine lightning struck down. Enough. Just at this critical moment, a cold voice suddenly came from the void. His voice was not loud, but in an instant it suppressed all other sounds in the world. It was as if nothing else could remain in this world other than that voice. It rushed into the minds of every expert. Even their minds were shaken. Crack! In the sky above the eternal kingdom, a snow-white jade-like hand silently tore open the void. There was an indescribable charm in her hand, as if it contained a supreme principle. After it appeared, it immediately made the whole world lose its color. Thousands of divine lights gathered in the hand. It was like the hand of heaven. The jade-like hand appeared and gently patted the eternal kingdom hanging in the void. It was as if there was a fly buzzing beside his ear in the summer, and he was impatiently swatting it with his palm. It was extremely ordinary. But it was this seemingly ordinary slap that made it seem like an ordinary slap. It easily passed through the 9 rays of eternal light. It naturally patted the eternal kingdom. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidien.com. There are more chapters. Support the author. Support the original reading. Chapter 624. At the end of the month, anyone with a monthly ticket will be promoted. Bam! The seemingly unremarkable hand slapped the kingdom of eternity, sending it spinning away like a rubber ball. No, it was more accurate to say that it was sent flying. It didn't even have the slightest ability to fight back. The entire kingdom was sent flying millions of kilometers away. What kind of divine might was this? A single slap was enough to wipe it out. Whoosh! After the jade-like hand slapped country of eternity away, it disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared. At the same time, a huge black chain appeared in the void without warning. It was extremely long and emitted waves of black gas, as if it was unapproachable. It crossed countless voids and swept up the myriad demon city. Then, without hesitation, it retracted back. With a boom, the demon city slammed into the seal on the outside of the demon world, and was easily dragged out of the demon world. In the blink of an eye, the terrifying rift that had appeared when the demon city had been dragged out of the demon world vanished. Heaven and earth went silent. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. It was so fast that the spies didn't even have a chance to react. They could only open their mouths in shock and disbelief as they watched everything that had just happened. It was as if countless waves of shock were crashing through their hearts. There was no way for them to recover from the shocking turn of events. Oh, the Tao of Heaven, am I seeing things? The Kingdom of Eternity, the #1 paragon god item in all of history, was swatted away by a single hand like a fly. It couldn't even fight back. This is terrifying. Who was that jade-like hand? Who was it that took action? Could it be that there was a matchless expert that took action in secret to protect that vicious demon? Terrifying. Too terrifying. Even a paragon god item was sent flying by a single slap. Heavens! A paragon god item is comparable to a peerless expert's treasure. And yet, it was sent flying just like that. The owner of that hand is too terrifying. Could it be some sort of undying and indestructible entity? I can't believe the tables would turn at a time like this. Who would help the demon folk? Could it be an ancient demon god left behind by the ancient demon race? It was said that a large number of peerless experts had not perished during the ancient times, and they were slumbering within the blood altar. They wandered through the boundless space and transformed into numerous ancient tombs. Once my injuries are healed, I will break out of the tomb. This time, the demon race has broken free from the shackles of the demon realm. Once the remaining demon race members in the myriad worlds are gathered, they will become a powerful force that cannot be ignored. The demonic beasts would completely break free from their decline. They had the momentum to rise. The 100,000 blood-killing guards are also an unimaginably terrifying force. The divine light they shoot can even blow away the 10,000 sword green lotus. As expected, the ancient demon race is not to be trifled with. The 100 races will return to the origin continent in less than 10 years. Troubled times are coming. I'm afraid another great era is coming. It seems like there will be a major change in the 3 rankings and 1 ranking. The competition for the rankings would definitely be extremely intense. The era of true chaos is coming. For a moment, countless voices of discussion were heard in the void as countless divine wills entangled with each other. It seemed that the peak of an exciting era was coming. Countless experts would emerge. Every time this happened, peerless geniuses would emerge one after another. This was the trend of the times. Taking advantage of the chaos, the elf princess had already left with the remaining demon gods. They entered the tunnel and returned to the divine demon continent. However, at the last moment of their return, they also saw the appearance of the jade-like hand. In their eyes, they could not help but reveal a strong sense of horror. They hurriedly entered the tunnel and disappeared. The Kingdom of Eternity and the 10,000 sword green lotus gathered together and hung in the void. However, looking at the two, one of the 9 eternal lights on the Kingdom of Eternity was destroyed. On the 10,000 sword green lotus, the divine light dimmed, and there were small cracks. The attack of the annihilation divine light had actually caused damage to it. It could be seen that the blood-killing guards were strong. They had been guarding the demon city for a long time. Most likely, no one would dare to provoke them easily. Even if the ancient giants rushed over, they would be blasted to pieces on the spot. Countless experts were also imprinted with the unparalleled ferocity of the demon city in their hearts. Their greedy hearts couldn't help but restrain a little, and their original thoughts of carving up a share were suppressed. The scene just now turned into an invisible deterrent force that deterred them from acting rashly. Time. What de Chertion lacked was time. He needed a lot of time to strengthen himself, to strengthen the strength of the entire demon city. Once he recovered, with the ancient city as the foundation, there would be a day when he could look down on the heavens. Needless to say, de Chertion's departure still caused the entire demon realm to have an invisible deterrent force. However, after the jade-like hand slapped away the kingdom of eternity, saving de Chertion and the entire demon city from danger, and completely escaping from danger, it was pulled out of the demon realm by the inexplicable pitch-black chain. The scene in front of them suddenly changed. Rumble! The demon city shook violently as if it had been attacked countless times in an instant. It shook the ancient city. In the city, the 9 heavens 10 earths god-slaying demon annihilation seal appeared naturally, blocking all the impact outside the ancient city. It gradually stabilized. Crash! The black chain let go of the ancient city with a crisp sound and disappeared into the distance. It didn't leave a word. However, a black light fell from the sky and fell towards de Chertion. Patter! De Chertion's body shook and returned to his normal body. His face was faintly pale, and there were traces of dirty blood seeping out of the pores on his body. The attack of the kingdom of eternity just now, including him, also suffered a huge backlash. If it weren't for his strong body, he would have exploded on the spot. He would have completely collapsed. Seeing the black light, he grabbed it in his hand. A token! De Chertion frowned slightly and looked at the thing in his hand. It was a black token made of an unknown material. There was nothing on the token except for a mysterious seal script. The script was never seen before. It was not ancient seal script, not demon language, nor did it seem to be the language of any of the 100 clans. But it had a unique charm. It was very strange. What token is this? Dark, do you recognize the words on it? De Chertion hurriedly asked in his mind. This token was obviously left behind by the mysterious person who had just pulled them out of the demon realm. There must be a unique meaning. TSK, I have never seen the material of this token before. And the words, even I have never seen them before. Strange, really strange. In ancient times, I know the language of all clans, but I have never seen such words. It's really strange. But it's also strange. Who was it that pulled us out of the demon realm just now? Dark looked at the token carefully and shook his head. Even with his rich experience, he still couldn't recognize what the words were. However, he was curious about the mysterious existence who pulled them out of the demon realm at the most critical moment. Since following de Chertion, he had never seen him make friends with any powerful expert. There's no need to guess. I have a rough idea. De Chertion's eyes were deep as he looked outside the ancient city. He sighed and said, "You reap what you sow." Thoughts flashed in his mind, and he vaguely guessed who had helped them just now. He felt a little emotional. This kind of good karma was formed. Otherwise, today's calamity would have boded ill rather than well. We are in the endless turbulence of the void now. De Chertion glanced outside the city and saw that there were terrifying spatial fragments everywhere outside the ancient city. There were chaotic storms, meteorites, destructive star fragments, all kinds of terrifying rock flows, and a large number of terrifying things that were shuttling in the void. They were shuttling around constantly. There were also all kinds of black holes emerging, and all kinds of terrifying scenes appeared from time to time. Even the ancient giants had to be careful when they entered. Once they were sucked into a terrifying place, even their divine souls would be destroyed. Countless storms and spatial blades that could cut the void apart were blocked outside the city by the divine restriction in the ancient city. If they were allowed to charge in, a large number of demons in the city would probably be ground to dust on the spot. This was the most chaotic place in the world. There were as many dangerous places as there were stars in the sky. If one was unlucky, they would be in great danger. Tisk tsk. Don't be afraid. Ming shouted indifferently, the chaotic void is the most dangerous place for others, but you don't have to worry too much. The demon city is made of divine crystals, so it's not part of the 5 elements. It can also devour the 5 elements yuan qi and all kinds of power in the world. Few experts come here. You can take this opportunity to devour the endless chaotic yuan qi here and increase the power of the demon city. The key reason why the demon city could be respected as an unparalleled divine city was that it was made of divine crystals that were not part of the 5 elements. Divine crystals could devour all kinds of yuan qi to increase its power. It could upgrade its grade. As long as it could devour all kinds of yuan qi. The yuan qi here was abnormally chaotic, and spatial fragments could be seen everywhere. It was the best place to refine the ancient city. Di Shirtian pondered for a moment and nodded. That's right. Although the demon city is completed, the divine crystals that make up the ancient city are all middle-grade divine crystals. If it were high-grade divine crystals, even the treasure mountain from the 1,000 treasure tide wouldn't be able to support it. Also, incense and wish power wouldn't be able to support such consumption. To upgrade the ancient city now, the only way is to let the ancient city devour endless yuan qi and wish power to slowly refine the impurities and upgrade it slowly. Once it reaches high grade or even supreme grade, it will be the time when the demon city can truly compete with a supreme divine weapon like the Eternal Kingdom. He was not too disappointed with the demon city's current combat power. The ancient city had just been completed, and it was like a newborn baby. It was too much for it to fight with adult strong men. To be continued. If you want to know the future, please go to www.chidian.com. I support the author, I support the original reading. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.